Welcome one, welcome all to the first ever StarCharged StreamCast, folks. Alright. So excited for this. We've been waiting on this forever. We've been waiting. I've been waiting ever since Evo to get this knocked, to get this going, and we finally have ourselves a StreamCast that the NRS community and possibly the FGC itself deserves.
Okay.
Alright, well, as most of you know, I am Broken Alliance Gaming Star Charger, and I am joined by none other than the host of Friday Night Fights himself within the FGC, well, within our version of the FGC anyways. The man, the myth, the legend, my boy, Dab Jr.
What's going on, everybody?
Alright. What's going on, Dab Jr.? We got a lot of stuff we're gonna dive right into. Alright, now, Echo, Aqueous Echo of Clean Kill Gaming, he is going to be joining us a little bit later. Right now, the wife for him is over taking care of some personal business, which means Big Daddy Echo is forced to answer the Call of Duty right now and making sure his daughter gets to sleep. So until he's able to go ahead and rock the baby to sleep, he'll be joining us here shortly. But right now it's Dab Jr. and I to go ahead and start things off. And we are starting things off just 4 days removed from the big show that was Evolution 2017 this year, and there's plenty to get into there. Alright, so as we said in the format, we are going to be setting up a King of the Hill for anybody to come in and just throw down a bit. And really, so Dab Jr., how's everything going on your end? How did Evo look from your end, from the stream monster point of view? Before I get into how everything went from a first person point of view.
Man, so from a stream, from sitting at home and watching it, man, obviously I was extremely sad that I couldn't be there, but man, it was cool, man. It was cool to watch the tournament and see what other players are out there doing, all the competitive players were out there doing their thing. We had, the casual dudes, and we had a bunch of dudes that never even been to a tournament before coming up to the tournament and competing and throwing down, man. There was some crazy upsets. It was super sick to see Shen take out DJT. That was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That was insane. Did you see that match live?
Oh, my God. That is actually one of my guilty confessions for the weekend, because I had to go to the restroom during the time that match was going down, and I unfortunately wound up missing, that matchup,
no.
and it wound up just being one of the biggest matches that I wound up missing on the weekend. But I made it a mission to actually stick around down there at the bottom, because unfortunately that was one of the big travesties of Evo. Right now we're getting into how everything went from a first person point of view. Alright, now it was in giant Mandalay Bay, it was in the convention center, and there was a lot of room to maneuver. There were a lot of attractions, of course. It's Evo, it's gotten bigger and better every year in that regard. But ultimately what winds up happening is, a lot of very big matches wound up not making their way to the stream at Evo, and that was just a big problem. And that was one of them. That would have been huge. It would have been huge for folks to see Shin and DJT play this game on stream. And you had several matchups over the course of the weekend that were like that. I mean, Krusty Forever King, the run back of Shin and DJT, which was once again off stream. Pig of the Hut versus Honeybee.
King got sent to losers?
Huh?
King got sent to losers by Krusty?
No. King got sent to losers by Honeybee. That was on stream.
Okay.
But nobody had Krusty up there versus Forever King, although I can almost forgive that one. It's just like, not a lot of people outside of the West Coast had heard of Krusty. But you know, it's just one of those kinds of things where, you know, you had several matchups over the course of the weekend that just wound up having to be played off stream and being recorded by somebody else watching it, and it was just a problem, man, because you had several matches go up there that, you know, no offense to all the guys that got stream time whatsoever, but they could have done much better with putting better matches up there on the stream to show the game at a high level.
Right, exactly, man. And like I said, like we were talking about, Shin versus DJT, that's huge. That shows that, you know, you can take your fundamentals from another fighting game and bring it to the NRS community and hang with the very best if you got the skill to do it, man. If you got the skill and the dedication to do it, you can do it. And he did it with Cheetah, not Black Adam.
Exactly.
Not exactly. The goddess of bullshit Catwoman, who is overrated, by the way. He did it with Cheetah. This is Cheetah he did it with. So
yeah, man,
that's huge.
That was one of the biggest developments of the weekend. It's just the fact that the moment everybody caught wind of the fact that Shin did this with Cheetah of all characters. I mean, you've seen her represented by guys like Newbie, Alcatraz, and the like over the course of the course of this Injustice Pro Series season. But at the end of the day, you know, the fact that that became known after that match, and then when the run back came to fruition, and it still wasn't streamed, that's a problem.
Right. Exactly. Man.
That's a monstrous problem, man. And you know, that was just that was just one of the big black eyes of the weekend. But outside of that, you know, it was a fun weekend. You know, top 8. You know, I wound up getting top 16 myself, losing to Tekken Master.
Congratulations.
And yeah, thank you. And you know, it felt like brackets will run smoothly for the most part. I mean, it could have been done a little bit better. I mean, it could have been done to the point to where, you know, at the top 32 start of everything, you know, we had to really scramble. We were starting, that part of the tournament started a little bit further behind because of the fact that the TOs were dancing around all over the place, and everybody was asking, well, who's running this bracket? Who's running this?
Right.
Yeah, but outside of that, I actually felt like the tournament was actually run all right up until, you know, it was time to whittle everything down to top 8. And, you know, you had to, and it came down to one, the block going into top 32, you know, they all of a sudden didn't have enough stream time to get the rest of those hype matches up on stream. And 2, that they didn't get the top 8 completely done before actually broadcasting top 8 up on the main stage on Saturday.
Right.
I mean, that to me, you know, that to me that's a pretty big black eye, because everybody knew this tournament was going to take some time, with 1 it being 3 out of 5, 2 it having 900 entrants, and you know, you're trying to whittle everything down to the top 8, you know, at such a strict hour of the day. But you know, that's, I guess that's just the nature of the beast when you're not one of the games going into the arena on Sunday.
Right. Hey, by the way, StarCharged, there's something else there's one little point I wanted to put into the emphasis of Shan beating DJT. And this was a big deal before Injustice 2 came out. Punk called out Sonic Fox, okay? Punk, one of the best Street Fighter 5 players right now, calls out Sonic Fox, uses Black Adam as his main character on top of it all, and is failing to even place top 3 at NLBC locals. But here's Chien beating one of the best NRS players of all time with what's deemed to be a bottom tier character. Just a point I wanted to make real quick.
And it's a good point to make, because quite frankly, you know, this is one of those kinds of things where, you know, everybody needs to remember this game is only a couple of months old, and to be absolutely honest, with the widespread audience that this game is reaching on a competitive level, you're gonna see a lot of different characters being represented in a lot of different ways going forward, given the fact that most of these guys that are playing like over there in Asia, over here in Europe, or wherever it is in the world they're playing, they're gonna be bringing their whole distinct style over here in the future, whether it's for the Injustice Pro Series or whether it's for events beyond that. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of international representation, from all over the world with a lot of different characters, and a lot of us are going to just be in seeing and believing mode when all of this stuff goes down, because quite frankly, that's the best thing that can happen for the game. Exactly. That's the best thing that can happen, that everybody has a chance to see not just international competition, but different characters have that opportunity to be represented when they have the opportunity to come over here to the States. We go over to them, whatever the case may be. Right. And it's really just going to make for the game to be seen in a whole different light once all of those styles clash. And with that, taking a look into the Pro Series itself, man. I mean, I'm looking at the standings right now, and you've got some pretty diverse standings right here as far as nations are concerned. I mean,
yeah, dude, we got Bahrain, we have the UK, shouts to Foxy Grandpa.
Our neighbors up north, Canada.
Yeah, we got Canada, and what's cool about this game so far right now is, and I hate to say it, but we're not seeing so much dominance out of Sonic Fox with this game right now.
We are not.
He didn't win CEO, he didn't win EVO, and so we're seeing that not only the players are catching up, but we're showing it's just showing growth in the community to really step up and play at that high level.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, everybody's really brought their A game to start this game off. Everybody's grinding. Everybody's putting in the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sonic is going to get his pound of flesh in this game's lifespan. He may not have won EVO, and he hasn't won them all like he did at the start of MKX's life, but to be absolutely honest, to be absolutely honest, it's only a matter of time before he gets his pound of flesh. And speaking of EVO, we're gonna have some competitors, of course, from EVO, to come on the cast and actually be interviewed tonight, such as Hara Gaming's Rewind, top 8 placer Noble Semiij, and then to cap off the interviews for the night, we will have Noble's Dragon, who, of course, as everybody knows at this point, he kind of won EVO. So, yeah, so it's a little bit of a power pack night, as I see we finally have enough guys to interview, or not interview, but rather invite for a King of the Hill.
Right.
And I'm just waiting for some guys to come in so that they can get that going, but nevertheless, we've got a really good night planned. We plan on having a lot of fun with this, and we thank you all for jumping in and joining us, on this startup. As I see, we've got guys like my boy Admiral Ninja, Gurr, Ragnarok, Black,
Foxy,
and Foxy, in the stream. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. As right now the focus for a lot of people, in the Injustice Pro Series, now that the EVO is behind everybody, now that lion's share of points has been distributed throughout the standings, take a look at what we've got in terms of points. So at 16th place you have me at 90 points. You've got Nubcakes at 100. You've got Scar at 130. Yeah, Nubcakes had a really awesome performance at EVO this weekend, getting 9th place, and he got 100 points out of it. Scar with 130. Give me just a moment as I check some settings. You've got Gross at 145, sitting in 13th spot, and you've got you got Illusions in 12th with 160. I mean, Noble Illusions, the homie. And then, of course, you've got Biohazard with 165 and 11th. Forever King with 205, man. He took a pretty big hit from this weekend, not really registering any points. But at the same time, this is Forever King. I know he's going to bounce back. I mean, yeah, he will, man. He's sitting really nice and snugly in 10th place, but at 9th, you've got Semiij, who just balled out and wound up surpassing a lot of folks with his performance. And what winds up happening now is, of course, you've got Hayate at 8th with after his top 8 performance with 230. White Boy with 230. Or no, with 285. He's sitting in 7th. Yeah, he got a few points for getting top 32, but overall he Semiij did. Yeah, Semiij actually took down White Boy, as I see. All right, so we can actually send the challenge now. All right, so or not.
I just want to make a few quick shoutouts real quick and a few quick callouts real fast. Shoutouts to my boy Gert, one of my main homies. Shoutouts to the Foxy Grandpa. Shoutouts to the Magician, Pegasus for tuning in tonight, and Ragnarok as well.
Of
I also
course.
want to say that after this ass whooping I received from Foxy Grandpa today, just a few moments ago, I actually had to go on Twitter. Dead ass seriously, just straight up block playing to win. I was just sitting here like the whole time. I just had one stale look on my face while I was playing Foxy, like, how can you downplay this? How can you say that this character would never place even top 32 at a tournament? Like, do you know that you're comparing yourself to a Foxy Grandpa? This man is an EVO finalist. This man is godlike. This man is great. Playing to win. You are playing to lose. You are trash. You're not good.
Oh, man.
Why? Why would you downplay this character just because you're bad? Like, oh no. Oh no, I couldn't stand for that downplaying anymore after that. After those, I couldn't take it.
The callouts couldn't even wait until the block. We couldn't even get through the whole entire Pro Series top 16.
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't take
Man, oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, all right, folks. Yeah, Dab Jr.'s held down on his chest for the last 30 minutes. So yeah, that's where all this is coming from. And just to close out the Pro Series standings, you got Tekken Master with 300 points in 6th place. You got a tie for 4th. Thanks to Honeybee's performance and Theo's performance. Both of them are sitting at 320 points apiece. Slayer's in 3rd at 390. Sonic Fox and Dragon are tied at the #1 spot with 540 points apiece. So yeah, it's looking real juicy right now to start things off. And quite frankly, it is only going to get juicier as the Pro Series goes on, as everybody's focus now, as far as the Pro Series is concerned, shifts to defend the North coming up here in the next week.
Are you going to be in attendance to that tournament?
I will not be. But then again, it is a ranking event, so it's not exactly a premier status. But the next premier after that is Summer Jam, and I am doing everything that I can to make sure that I'm able to attend there. Since, of course, I'm one of those guys on the bubble, and I absolutely need to, to bring those points up so that nobody jumps me after all the online tournaments also come to pass, because the East region for the online tournaments is actually coming up, as that's also for a lot of points, for a lot of those guys sitting in those bubble positions. That's their chance to make up some ground and come into the fray. So I really want to, put some cushion there so that I can actually defend my spot personally and continue to be right there in the thick of it once the cutoff arrives after East Coast Throwdown in September.
Oh, I see. Nice. That's gonna be really cool, man. So, StarCharged, do you have anything you want to get off your chest about the FGC right now?
There's nothing really I can unload. I mean, we saw some pretty hype reveals at EVO. And among those hype reveals was, of course, Geese Howard for Tekken 7, man. I did not see that coming. That's one of those kinds of reveals that I absolutely could not see coming. And, that was pretty hype. And when you get right down to the thick of it, him being in Tekken 7 actually makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And Huh? Oh yeah, well that's Dab Jr. That's my boy Black over here in Houston, and that's to answer his question, that's Dab Jr. and he's calling out playing to win, who couldn't wait until the freestyle block to unload that off of his chest. I mean, he really wanted to unload that salt. Oh man. Oh, go right ahead. Go right ahead as I'm trying to get Semiij in for the first interview. Hey, Dab, do you turn your mic up a little bit? Turn your mic up a little bit. They're saying that it's a little low. That's all good.
Matthew Schultz, Dr. Schultz, Mr. Foot Doctor. Oh, okay, so if Foxy's saying that, that must mean that you plan to win are garbage, trash, sewage. Like, I blocked him. I couldn't deal with
this
that.
This man says sewage!
That man, his skills, I played on the first week of this game when this asshole was on Twitter talking all this trash about winning, all this online crap. I ran into him on ranked match, and this is in my stream archives. If you don't believe me, I ran into him on ranked match. I said, I'm not playing Dr. Fate versus Deadshot. I don't know that matchup yet, but I'll play Dr. Fate or I'll play Deadshot versus Deadshot, and I whooped that ass. I don't even play a fucking character like that. Okay. Okay.
The blow-ups for
is less than the worms in the dirt. Like, that is less than the bronze elo of League of Legends. Like,
man.
Oh no.
And then you got Ekadus in the chat. Shout outs to Ekadus saying Dab Jr. sounds salty that P2W was a better Sinestro than him.
Oh, that's very true. He was definitely the better Sinestro than me.
Man.
He came up with the Vortex. He was great in Injustice 1. But let's not shy away from the fact that Sinestro was extremely broken. Sinestro had 8-2, 7-3, possible 9-1 matchups, and had a trick. Oh god, oh, I'm blown. This man playing to win said Sinestro was the only form of true defense in a fighting game. How? He was broken as fuck. He had an advancing mid that was -5 and reached damn near like all the way like outside of jump distance. Like, what the fuck? He had a trait that made everything he did, no matter what he did, plus as fuck.
Yes, he did.
That's balanced, right? That's fair. That's the true form of deep. Fuck, no. I'm done with playing to win. I ain't never following. No, he's perma blocked. I'm banning him from my Twitch stream. No, I'm not never talking to playing to win no more. This man Foxy was doing throw staggers. He was doing full combos off of the anti-wrist pistol. He was all these full screen frame traps with. No. That character. I don't care what he. Deadshot's top 5. Fuck Deadshot. I hate Deadshot now.
Amen to that, brother. That is. That's how you unload on somebody.
Oh man! Shoutouts to Foxy for bringing the light to
Oh,
Deadshot.
that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. The call outs, they couldn't even wait until the call out block, man. Oh.
Oh, there's more where that came from. Y'all wait till the freestyle, right? Y'all wait for the freestyle. There's more where that came from.
Oh man, and with that, we're trying to get Semiij in here for his interview. We were gonna interview Rewind first, but you know, right now, you know, he's trying to get home, you know, really quickly. But yeah, so in that time, you know, so this time we're gonna actually get Semiij in here and try to get him on the first out. Semiij, you know, he was, you know, very disappointed at the end of CEO when he couldn't get into top 8 at CEO. I mean, I was too, and
Sonic, right?
I mean, you know, he lost to Sonic, and of course came the iconic photo of the hug, the face, and all of that, and it was just one of those kinds of things that just led to the whole to hug or not to hug controversy leading into Evo.
Man.
And you know, it's just like you hated that, you know, of course, of all people, the homie Semiij had to be the one to, you know, be the focal point when that picture was taken, you know, this whole thing, because of course, you know, everybody saw that the man was crushed. Everybody saw that he was crushed. Yeah, they really are, and you know, of course, you know, while I was at Evo and after the tournament was done, I had the opportunity to go in the same room with him, Sonic, and several other high-level players, and we all just had the opportunity to just pick, you know, multiple characters apart, and just had the opportunity to really just, you know, see what other options there were, you know, with the character, and you know, I wound up learning quite a bit, and you know, I wound up sharing what I knew as well. And now, you know, we are joined by none other than Noble Semiij for his interview. Yes, he just joined, and you know, Semiij, how's it going, buddy? Yep, barely.
You're loud and clear, man. Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah, it's on, but I can actually hardly hear him.
Oh, let's make sure that that his voice is allowed to be shared for the stream.
All right. Well, I already prioritized the chat settings, so I just want to see if everybody can hear Semiij.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta make sure he could be heard on the stream, and we'll be set.
All right, so everybody, can you hear my buddy AJ, aka Semiij? All right, Semiij, can you go ahead and say something, buddy? Like a test. All right, there we go.
He said hello. You guys here?
All right. Yeah, try one more time, Semiij. Yeah, if you could turn that setting on, that'd be great.
Yeah, bro, go to the party, and then go to party settings, and then it'll show it right there. It'll be second one to the bottom, bro.
All right, guys, we're just trying to get the settings going, and all right, did you guys hear him now? All right, try one more time, Semiij.
Hello.
Let's see.
All right, they can hear you now.
You good?
They can hear you now. We're good. We're good.
Nice.
Hey, Semiij, thanks for taking some time to go ahead and join us on the first ever StarCharged StreamCast, my man. Hey, once again, you know, I couldn't say it enough over the weekend, and I'll say it now. Congratulations on how well you did at Evo, you know, after CEO, man. What was the first thing that went through your mind when you were able to actually clutch it out over your teammate, Illusions, in order to qualify for top 8?
I think I played Slayer, but...
Oh, you play Slayer? Slayer? Alright, yes,
yeah,
I'm gonna pull up the brackets again.
But, yeah, it was great. Like, I got to make top 8, which is what I wanted. Get a Evo medal, so...
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome, man, and...
Something I always wanted to ask you, man, because I first heard about you in MKX. So, was MKX your first fighting game, or were you from Injustice 1 or MK9? Like, what fighting game did you come from, man?
I played the other ones, but the first one I played competitively was Street Fighter and MKX.
No way, you're a Street Fighter player too?
Yeah, I played Street Fighter a little bit.
No way, wait, who's your main?
In 5? I played Karen.
Nice, dude.
That's pretty much who I used back when I played the game.
Alright, I need to ask both of y'all this, because we got, obviously, no doubt, 2 of the top 3 if not the top 2 Catwoman players in the world. How do you guys feel about Catwoman?
I think she's really good. Like,
She's really effing good.
Yeah?
Probably like the best in the game, if anything. That's what I think.
Okay.
I still think she's got, you know, her fair share of matchups that do give her problems, but at the end of the day, she is really good.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that.
Do you guys feel she's upplayed, downplayed any bit?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like probably downplayed a little bit. Not much. I feel like she's better than what people say, but I don't know.
Honestly, I think she's more misunderstood than she is anything.
Yeah.
I feel, you know, I see a lot of people getting hit by a lot of different things, and it's just like they don't know their options, and the more they get told that they don't know their options, and the more that they don't want to believe that they have the ability to counteract whatever it is going on. It seems like the more you tell them they're wrong, the more they want to believe they're right. And when it comes to approaching her, and that's one of the reasons why she gets, you know, made into, you know, a character that's, you know, overpowered when in all seriousness, you know, if she had anything reminiscent of what she had in the first game, then she would be, you know, giving people those legitimate kinds of problems. But
50-50.
Oh yeah, the meow mix was real.
Anymore.
Yeah, it was real, but at the end of the day, she's very good, but she's nowhere near as overpowering as a lot of people would like to think she is. But, you know, back to you, Semiij. You know, what was going through your mind, you know, with the whole, you know, hugging controversy, you know, with CEO, you know, all that stuff. You know, how did it feel to kind of, you know, put that away once you were able to just clinch that brass ring and then, of course, shoot through the standings in the Injustice Pro Series like a rocket once those points were updated?
I mean, as CEO, I was kind of like upset that I didn't do as good as I wanted to. So I'm glad I did better at it. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like the hugging thing wasn't really that much of a problem.
I feel you.
Like,
I feel you.
It didn't really bother me. I was just more upset, like, that I didn't do that good as CEO.
I mean, that's your home major, man. It's, you know, it's real.
Yeah. But
it's real.
I'm still kind of glad I did good at Evo. So.
That's great. I mean, and looking at your path to get into top 8, I'm looking through the standings right now. I mean, after. You know, better yet, before I get to your path, you know, what was something I see, you know, of course, you know, I saw that you lost to Nubcakes. I was right there when that match was going down. What was Nubcakes doing that kind of caught you off guard when all this was going down?
He was just like, some of the things I was doing was kind of fake, so he was just like stopping it. But like, if I did 4-1-1-2 into like cast stance 1, he would like down 2 through the gap and just manage for all that. So I was kind of just surprised that he knew the matchup more than I thought he did, and he just outplayed me. So
yeah, man.
It happens. So he was playing really good.
Understood. It happens to everybody. Yeah, it happens there. I remember you being very disappointed after that, and I remember just telling you, you know, keep it a short memory because there was a lot of tournament left at that point. That was just semifinals. That was just round 2 of the tournament. But I noticed your path, man. You beat the brakes off of a lot of really good players in order to get yourself in position to make more noise in this tournament. I'm just looking at this path through the losers bracket, and this is why people say don't get knocked into the losers bracket in any stage of a tournament. Let me read this off. Daddy Dab, who was just signed by Hara.
Oh, you beat my father?
He eliminated Daddy Dab. He eliminated Vertex Killer Zenok from Brazil. He eliminated P&D Madsen, who was just hot off of his top 8 performance at CEO. Alright, so you eliminated Germany's hope right there in Madsen. And then we go into the semifinals portion of it to qualify for top 8. And you beat, I was there at the tail end of the match where you defeated newly signed Renegade White Boy. Yeah, that was a big victory. And then, of course, from one Scarecrow main to another, you beat my teammate at BXA, Burrito Voorhees, a.k.a. Forever King Jr. And from there, you defeated A Foxy Grandpa. And then, of course, you defeated Rogue eSports' Slayer to qualify for top 8. I mean, I'm looking at these.
Beat the shit out of everybody. Damn.
I'm looking at these players, and all of these players are ranked in some capacity with the Pro Series. I mean, what was going through your mind when you had to examine that road? Did you examine that road to top 8 at any point, or did you just play each and every single match as they were called? And whichever was the case, what was your mindset going into each and every single one of these matches, knowing full well you weren't really going to get much of a break in terms of skill level from any of the upcoming opponents you had in your road?
I just went in like, just whatever happens at that point. After I lost, like I was just like, I didn't look or anything. I just, whoever I had to play, I just was going to try my best to see what happened. And I just felt really confident, like after every match. I felt like I could probably make it, and I just kept playing.
Nice, dude.
That's awesome.
You know, StarCharger, there's something I want to ask him.
Sure.
And I feel like this is quite a deep question, because, being Semiij, he's someone that we mainly know based off of his run in MKX, right? Now, all these people you just listed are people that are easily in the discussion of the Injustice 1's top 10 players. If not I want to say at least 4 of them are top 4 players from the Injustice 1 series. Did you feel kind of like you were underrated going into Injustice at all?
I mean, I don't really know. Some people, I don't know. For me, I felt really good going into it. So I don't know if people really felt like I was going to do good or not. Because no one really told me. Because I came from MKX, so people thought it was all 50-50, so I wasn't gonna do that good, but I just tried my best, and I'm glad it's paying off.
And it's funny because at first it's like you played Aaron Black. I played Aaron Black also, so I was like, Aaron Black. There's a lot of stuff people don't understand about him, and no one really armored through the grenade block strings. You know what I mean? Like the meter burn grenade stuff. So it's like, okay, that was something, but he mixed. And then next thing he picked up Melina. I also played Melina too, so then when you picked up Melina, I was like, this is a character that doesn't really mix at all. And you were basically, without a doubt, top 3 MKX players of all time with your Melina. Melina was ridiculous, easily the best Melina. But after I saw that, and then next coming into Injustice 2, seeing that you were playing Catwoman, I was like, man, this dude's gonna do work with Catwoman. I already feel like it's coming. And the next you know, War of the Gods comes up, you make top 8 and you scrape a shit ton of people. And I was like, man, this dude's for real. This dude's legit. Oh man.
And
how do you like it in Florida? How do you like your scene out there?
Scene? It's good. A lot of good competition.
Right. Is it highly competitive out there for who wants to be the top player out there?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that want to be like the best over here. Like,
man, I'm telling you, before Evo, personally, in my opinion, you were by far the best in Florida. Now it's without a doubt you're easily the best in Florida.
dang.
Oh, of course, man. I had a circle jerky for that.
Yeah. But
But I'm mad that you beat Dad.
Well, Semiij,
Oh man.
yeah, another big thing is, of course, with the Pro Series points, you know, now having been updated, now everybody's gotten to the point to where, you know, we're now past the midway point. We're now past Evo, as I see everybody's coming in for the King of the Hill. All right, so the thing is, we are now past that midway point in the series where, you know, of course, Evo's happened, it's come and gone, and all the lion's share of the points have now been distributed, you know, through everybody. And so, you know, with you sitting now at, let me see here. You're now sitting at 9th place with 225 points, and you are 5 points away from I'd say you're 20 points ahead of Forever King, who's sitting in 10th. All right, what events do you plan on entering, you know, as far as the Pro Series is concerned, in order to keep your standing within the rankings to get that final invite come time for the final cutoff at the end of the season?
I think the next tournaments I want to go to probably Summer Jam, Absolute Battle, and ECT. Probably gonna be the next three I'm gonna be trying to go to.
Alrighty, so those are the next three premieres in the schedule for, you know, the Pro Series, and all three are worth goo gobs amounts of points and goo gobs amounts of money. And you know, I'm gonna be definitely at Absolute Battle, trying to work things out to be at ECT, and of course at Summer Jam, which is coming up here in the next few weeks. And then of course, you know, you've got events like Defend the North, Biennality, Versus fighting that are happening over in Europe. And First Attack is actually going to be happening in Puerto Rico, which is only going to be a ranking event, but still worth valuable points nevertheless. Somebody can easily get those 70 points and then just find themselves in the thick of getting that last qualifying spot. So, you know, that's still something to watch out for, you know, as far as anybody that plans on going out to any one of those rankings. And then, of course, not to be overlooked is the online tournament, which is the Injustice Pro Series East event, which is going to be streamed on NetherRealm stream. And so, Semiij, I have to ask, are you planning on competing in the online event, or are you going to let that one rock?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do that one as well?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And so, you know, everybody, you know, Noble Semiij, you know, one of the top players in the world, got top 8 at Evo 2017 this past weekend, and is also sitting in the top 10 in Injustice Pro Series points. Alrighty, anything else that you want to go ahead and you know, ask Semiij, you know, for the time being, Dab Jr.?
Yeah, there actually is. I want to ask Semiij, what do you prefer, man? Do you prefer the online tournaments or the offline tournaments?
Definitely offline.
Nice, dude.
It's way more fun. Yeah.
That's hella cool. What's your best tournament experience so far? What's the best thing that you have ever, like the most fun you've ever had at a tournament? Like outside of competing, just hanging out. Like, do you have any adventures?
Not really so far. Like, yeah, I haven't been anywhere like besides the tournament.
Alright.
Except maybe CEO. Like,
man, next time we go to the same tournament, me and Tom, we get you high or something. No, I'm playing. But what was I saying? What was about to? There was another thing I wanted to ask you about. During the many years. Oh yeah. So actually, this is something I really want to ask you. Is there?
Really, go ahead and elaborate. And has a gap. All right, now just to let everybody know, yes, we have a rewind coming up next, and you know, Semiij, I want to thank you so much for taking some time to come on and let us have the chance to talk with you tonight, buddy. Hey man, congratulations once again on your placement at Evo. I mean, you deserve it, and I look forward to seeing you at future events, throughout the course of this pro season.
Alright, man.
Can I ask one last juicy question real quick?
All right, go right ahead, Jeff Jr. Huh?
So, okay. Who do you, Semiij, feel is the better Catwoman between you and StarCharged?
Until I get that Evo medal, I'm deferring to him.
Yeah.
Respect.
I don't really like saying stuff like that. But like, who's the better Catwoman?
That's hella tight. That's honestly what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah.
Nice. But damn, man. Yeah, like StarCharged said, huge congratulations on your accomplishment at Evo and whatnot, man. It's hella fun watching you play.
All right, everybody, that was Noble Semiij for tonight. Yes, and we wish him the best, and we'll be seeing him do his thing at a lot more tournaments. And speaking of somebody who we expect to see do his thing at a lot more tournaments, is a guy that has been tearing it up in War of the Gods. He's been tearing it up basically ever since he had his first taste of offline last year at Evo when he got top 32, and has been leveling up ever since like a madman and coming through the ranks, playing the best, beating the best online, and has really made a name for himself. And he competed at Evo this weekend and wound up getting, I believe, in the top 64. Is a guy that is everybody, really waiting to see what he can do now that it seems like he has the ability to travel more and often these days. The guy that I'm starting to think has the best hair in the entire NRS community right now. Yeah, he's got that Kid and Play haircut on fleek. And he's got it looking better than anybody I've ever seen come into the scene to pull it off.
This man looks like a thumbtack with glasses.
Oh wow, we're roasting. Oh my God, this man Dab Jr. We are not even gonna wait until the freestyle block. Before that goes any further, before he gets offended, before he wants to cancel his interview, ladies and gentlemen, Hara Gaming's Rewind. How's it going, Rewind?
What's up, Star?
That's good, man. How you doing?
Brother, what you been up to, man?
Just been at the Young Monsters house.
Nice.
After Evo. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get better.
Yeah, you had me worried if I was going to be able to get you on the show tonight with you saying that you're over at the at the Young Monsters house tonight. But yeah, it's definitely good to have you on, my man, and it's good to see that you were able to make it on in spite of being away from your own pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, with all the momentum you've been able to build over the course of, War of the Gods, through Combat Cup, through basically everything that's happened with the online circuits over the course of the last 6 to 8 to even 10 months, what keeps you going, through the online series? What has been the ways that you've been able to just find yourself coming right through the ranks, through all these different circuits in 2 different games?
Just it's where I'm comfortable. I hope I can be as comfortable offline as I am online. But just leveling up. Just playing the best. And I don't like playing people who are below me because unless I'm trying to help them get better, because I'm trying to get better. It's not every day you can beat the
right.
It's not every day you can beat Sonic. Like even online, beating like people like Sonic and Dragon Smiij is hard. Really hard.
It really is, and I can attest to that personally. And quite frankly, seeing you do it as often as you've done it over the course of 2 different games is really, something special to see. And everybody, seemed to really apply what you had been doing online, and really, put a lot of expectation on you to really come offline and just be this killer, which personally I know I've seen, you've had the potential to do. I mean, I've played you offline, and I know from experience that that's not easy, but at the end of the day, what winds up, what do you think the pressure that was put on you to just be put on that pedestal and succeed was unfair, given the fact that you were going into your 2nd offline tournament, and that the only 2 tournaments that at a major level you've known thus far have both been EVO?
No, I don't think it's unfair. Like, I feel like I could have done it. I just, at last EVO, last week, I could have definitely done it. I just messed up, I was up 2 games on both my opponents, and, they just ended up running it back on me. It's just that comfortability factor that I need to build up, when you lose a game, just, go into the next game. Same mindset. Just, when I lose a game offline, it's like, it starts hitting me like, oh my god, like, this is kind of scary, I just lost the game.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different environment, but it's definitely not unfair. I could definitely bounce back.
That's what I like to hear. And given the circumstances, you're one of the young guns. You said you turned 17 recently, is that correct?
No, I turned 16.
You turned 16, so you're 16 years old. You're just barely old enough now to legally have your own driver's license. And
yeah.
Of course, with that, your parents are going to be very tight on you being able to move out and about across the country for all things, gaming tournaments. I mean, heck, even at 20 years old, my mom wasn't really supportive of me going out and doing what I was doing, getting involved with the FGC, but nevertheless, Yeah, what is your overall outlook on being able to travel right now in the immediate future? And is that something that, after EVO and after seeing the way that the FGC embraces you and embraces the family support, will you be able to see more tournaments over the course of this Pro Series season, or in the future in general with regards to competition? Will you be allowed to come out and compete more?
I'm gonna be allowed to come out and compete more, but for the rest of this current Pro Series, like the first season of this Pro Series, the only tournament I see myself going to, if I don't go to, is maybe Absolute Battle, but that might be my only tournament. If I don't go to that, maybe CT, but I don't know, It's school starting to start, so
right.
August. So yeah, it's gonna get tough, but I'm gonna try to make it out more. But I definitely am allowed to go now.
That's good. That's good. And you know, quite frankly, I couldn't be more excited to actually hear that you're going to be able to make it to Absolute Battle. And of course, that you know is the tournament that you're most likely to drop by. So, and of course, as fortune would have it, take a look, and we're in, you know, giving Absolute Battle a little bit of free pub. So. Yeah. I'm here to tell you right now, you know, that event, you know, it'll treat you right. I mean, it is a really good event that has really good production value, and on an overall level, I mean, you're really gonna, you'll really enjoy, you know, the FGC that we have out here in Texas. It is big, diverse, and you're gonna be able to see and meet a lot of different players, and you have your fair share of good eating over here too. So yeah, bring the appetite along with your A game.
Yeah, I definitely will.
And oh yeah, I was supposed to be AFK. All right, so he can just kill me. Yeah, you can just kill me right now. Go right ahead. And with that, go right ahead, Dab Jr.
So Rewind, you play Atrocitus, which is a character that's known to be pretty flowchart. Do you feel like there's something about your Atrocitus that sets yourself apart from the other Atrocitus players?
Well, my Atrocitus, I feel like I just I go for the optimals. Well, not all Atrocitus go for the optimals because, you know, risk of dropping it. You risk dropping it, and then if you drop it, your whole task on. But basically, we're going for the optimals, and just the way I move in the neutral when I have that star out. I don't just put on shield and try to come in, but I fake it.
Yeah, I definitely think you have by far the best execution with Atrocitus, hands down. Like hitting those shield combos. Like, what's your opinion towards those combos? Are those combos hard to do?
Combos are hard to do considering like you can only do them if you have a certain amount of cat, and depending on how much cat you have determines what combo you're gonna go for. You know, but you know, anybody can do it. It's just practical, but not every Atrocitus doesn't do it, and that shows you it must be pretty long.
Exactly. Do you feel like Atrocitus needs any nerfs, so to say, since he's known to pretty much be a top tier character right now?
Nerfs to Atrocitus will probably be making is either is, you know, when you push block Atrocitus, you should get way more out of this cat to go away than like 1/4. I think it should be half of the straight. But you're spending a bar,
Right.
you know. But yeah, that's basically it, my opinion.
As far as Atrocitus, and I've noticed you use Black Adam as well. When what do you think both of those characters in general bring to the table in terms of how they complement each other in the game right now?
Well, Atrocitus for me, I picked up Black Adam because Atrocitus has some bad matchups, and Black Adam kind of just like deals with that. Like, every bad matchup, well, it seems like I picked them up to solve for, you know, Atrocitus' bad matches, but I find myself using Black Adam a lot more than Atrocitus in tournament almost because he's so good. Like, if you have a Black Adam, Atrocitus is almost like no need, but I like Atrocitus.
Really?
Yeah. So I picked them up just to solve the bad matchups. That's it.
Now, I'd also like to ask you, because now you mentioned Atrocitus has bad matchups. Now, when Pig of the Hut goes on RHS and says that Atrocitus had bad matchups, I'm going to not even listen because I think that he has no right to talk about that. But you, on the other hand, I'm definitely down to listen to you anytime. Why do you think Atrocitus? Who are Atrocitus' bad matchups and why?
Literally, I would say, okay, one definite bad matchup is Catwoman, 7-3. He can't do anything because she can meter burn back 3 through all his pressure. She low profiles his 4-2 with a raw back 3. She can raw back 3 through his like cat pressure. He could just jump back 2 when he approaches because jump 2 has no hurt blocks, so he goes right through shield. You know, so that's one. Oh yeah, and she could cat dash any puddle, no matter where it is on the screen.
What? For real?
Yeah, right.
Well, that depends. That depends.
Negative 41.
Oh,
I think
shit.
if I'm negative 41 and I throw it out, I think she can reversal cat dash full screen. It's up to the player to react on time on reversal. If you're any late, you know it's not gonna fly. And then second, I think Adam, but Adam's kind of like, you know, you have to be an Adam main. You can't just pocket Adam and beat my atrocities. Like I've seen people try to pick up Adam for atrocities, and, like they lose and they're like, this matchup isn't bad, but that matchup's up. Like, you just have to. It's a matchup that's only bad if you actually play Adam. But yeah,
I see.
His third bad matchup. I think like character has like maybe Blue Beetle. I think because his shield bash. Yeah, his shield bash goes right through like atrocities to shield, so he doesn't really get any guaranteed anything. Like he can't just come in like, you know. And plus his zoning is so good, it keeps him out.
Right.
And it's impossible to puddle. Yeah, it's impossible to get a trade with puddle because he shoots them too fast. So.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think he literally only has like. If I were to look at the cast, maybe I could come up with another one, but I think he only has like 3.
Now, with the way things stand with the game at this point, with what's gone on offline, do you think, you know, as far as the game's online, the online netcode I think is great. I mean, they followed up MKX very nicely, and do you think that that's a good way, you know, for guys like you, youngins like you, to actually get ready and prepared for, you know, the beast that is going and traveling offline to all these different tournaments and trying to make a name? Do you think online was a good training ground for you? Do you think you'd benefit more from being able to get offline games in?
Yeah, definitely, because like last year at Evo, like I remember when I came offline, I couldn't even do any. I couldn't do any like cancels with like Devora, so I had to use a secondary. Like I couldn't even use my main because the execution was way different from online.
You was playing Melina, right?
Yeah, I used Melina, but my main was Devora, but I couldn't do any cancels because online the connection was way different timing than offline. But now that the connection's improved, like after I came back from Evo, I instantly went online and I almost felt no difference. But the only difference is there's only certain things like reacting to like Catwoman's low whip trip. Like I cannot react to that online. Things like that, Black Adam's dive kick and stuff like that. But online has gotten so much better. I think an online player could come offline and have no execution errors or anything.
Begin.
Nice.
Yeah, and so with that, and with the way, you know, War of the Gods, and with the way Combat Cup were, yeah, do you feel like that was something that really helped you in the great scheme of things in terms of understanding, you know, how to approach a tournament? Or was it different in the sense that, you know, the feelings that you got when you were in a hard spot at Evo, was that different than any time you were in a hard spot, you know, during any one of those tournaments?
Oh yeah, it's different because offline, like, you're on the brink of elimination. The nerves start coming in. Like online, you're comfortable. You know, you lose, you have nothing really due to lose. You know, there's another one next week. But offline, you lose. The next major probably next month, next couple months. Like, there's so much more to lose. So, whatever. When it's like 2-2 online, offline, it's
Right. Right, and I can agree with that.
See, like, I was up 2-0 and Evo, and I got the Evo changing it to first to 3.
Yes, thank goodness for that last minute change that actually saw Evo going to the proper format for our tournament, and I feel that was what really helped make it a lot more of a hype affair than what everybody was originally thinking was going to happen. Because I was in the same boat, you know, losing 2-1, and then of course coming back to run it back to beat certain opponents in the game. So hey man, you know, it's just like it's one of those kinds of things where, you know, everybody's just gotta find it in to just bear down when stuff gets going. But everybody, you know, this is Hara Rewind joining us here in the StarCharged StreamCast as we discuss Evo future plans as we proceed now into the later block of the cast. Now, you know, when it comes to, you know, this upcoming school year, do you think you're gonna have during any of the breaks that you're gonna have any time to actually, you know, be able to convince your parents that such and such tournament is coming up and that you can make time for it now that you now that you've gotten old enough to actually have your own wheels?
StarCharger, Paulo's in the stream.
Oh, really? Is he now?
Yeah, that's so cool. Paco Stevens, right?
Yeah, Paco Stevens, that's him.
Oh, damn.
Well, how about that?
Well,
That's so sick.
Question. Depends on how long the break would be and what tournament it feels worth going to.
All right, and now I got another question for you. I got a big question for you. Are you one of the normal people that don't think pineapples go on pizza? Or are you one of those freaks that loves pineapples on their deep dish? I gotta know.
I've never tried pineapple on pizza before.
You're not missing anything, my man.
Not missing
Man, I don't
anything.
understand. There's people out there that will eat ass but won't eat pineapple on pizza. Come on now.
Dab Jr., please don't tell me you're one of those.
So
You like-
on to the next topic.
So we're gonna do. All right, don't worry. That to be continued for you, sir. I've got all night with you, but with you, Mr. Rewind, you know, I've only got this little segment, man. So thanks a lot for coming out, my man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Star.
Hey man, I look forward to seeing you and competing with you, whether it be War of the Gods, whether it be Absolute Battle. You know, when you're inbound for Absolute Battle, let me know, and I will get you going in the right direction.
All right. Hopefully we can get some casuals.
Likewise.
Alright, young homie.
All right, so yeah, that's the homie Rewind, and with that said, you know, now we are sitting in a position now where, you know, we're 10 minutes away from our third and final interview of the night, being with Noble's Dragon. You know, we're still waiting for our guy Echo to join the streamcast. I guess he's not really been able to lay the baby down, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Stuff happens. But on an overall level, you know, I just feel like, you know, guys like Rewind, Semiij, you know, that's the next generation of our scene competitively, man. And with the way that those guys are leveling up at the ages they are, I mean, it shouldn't really surprise a lot of folks. I mean, for crying out loud, Punk just got second place at Evo at 18 years old. So yeah, these kids, they're the future, you know, of the game. Yeah, they're the future of these scenes. It's going to be really fun seeing how all of this comes together for all of these guys. I mean, you think about it, the young twins, I think those guys are about, what, 18 years old apiece? And like, what, I see Revit Leafing and Young Monster in the chat. What are you guys, like 18 years old apiece? And then you've got guys like Tweety, I think he's like 20. And then you've got Toxin, he's 19. And you've got Fox, of course, you know, Fox is Fox. And then Dragon, you know, he just won the Evo World title, you know, I believe at 19 years old. And yeah, you've got so many of these teenagers coming in and guys in there. I mean, the way the scene is growing and cultivating itself now to where, you know, all of these young guys are coming in and just doing work overall. It's really turned into a younger guy's game. I mean, it's starting to get to a point where, you know, guys like me, I'm 26 and I'm already starting to be considered on the back nine.
Dang.
Oh my god.
Oh,
But
man.
you know, old boy
I'm still
Dragon.
in my youth.
Yeah, but yeah. What? How old are you, Dad Junior?
I just turned 21, man.
Oh, so you just done? So you right there in that same category.
Yeah.
You just turn right there in that same category. You know, as I'm thinking, you know, I think I'm just gonna go into these customizations. Let me see what I've got right here, since you know I haven't really explored anything with anybody. But okay, so Young Monster and his brother, they're both 17.
Man. Max
Yeah, well,
Brothers, you don't want it. You're looking at the #2 Catwoman in the world. You don't want that woman. You don't want it. If you ain't in the top 10 of the FGC, you
boy.
You do not have the rights to challenge this man.
Real. Can't even apply nothing. Real. Can't even apply. Then again, Atrocitus is ugly as hell anyway, so who wants to level him up?
Oh no. Oh, this man's ugly. Oh, so that's what I want to talk to you about, the StarCharged. Is there anything you want, like, before we get dragging here, is there any callouts or anything you want to make happen?
Callouts? Oh my god.
Yeah, the juicy stuff.
The juicy stuff, my man. Shoot, you want to know something? By the time we get up to the call-out block into the stream log, I think I'll probably have something. But for right now, I think I'm gonna have to take my time in pulling this out, because I don't want to, you know, call somebody out for something, you know, that I can find some better dirt for. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna hold off on that one for the time being. Oh, you want to know something? You want to know something?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I'll take it all back. I take that all back. It didn't even take me a minute to think of this, but you know, everybody wants to talk about folks downplaying. Let me ask y'all, what character do you honestly think is downplayed the most?
Dr. Fate by far. That character's broke as fuck. Okay, that's my main. You know what I'm saying? He's broke as fuck. He has a vortex. He has Deadshot has the best zoning in the game. But other than that, he has some of the best zoning in the game. His easily the best grounded mobility in the game. He has the best dash. He has the best meter burn roll. He has the fastest normal in the game. He has a 4-frame jump normal. And people want buffs for Dr. Get the fuck no. Dr. Fate's busted. Like that's my main. He has the best advancing shit. Fuck forward 2 from Superman. He has his forward 2 is way better. He has a forward 2 that he can make plus. He can it naturally option selects itself on block.
Dr. Fate's forward 2 is better than the Soup's forward 2?
Oh yes. They're both 9 frames, right? So wait,
no. Soup's
right?
is 8 frames.
Okay, I'm still gonna say it's better because Superman's, you know, it doesn't. I don't think it has as much range. I don't think it has as much range. But Dr. Fate has all kinds of uses. Something I do with Dr. Fate.
Wow, Dr. Fate. All right, immediately. It did not take this man any time at all.
Check this out, StarCharged. This is something I do with Dr. Fate. I used to do this in Street Fighter V with my main, which was Laura. Now, Dr. Fate, if I'm in a situation where I can get a side swap and benefit heavily from it, I'll use his forward 2 to get underneath a jump in. So say someone jumps in, Dr. Fate doesn't have the best anti-air capabilities in the game. Most of the time you want to anti-air Fate, you gotta see it coming. It's like doing IVs down 2 and an answer. It's gotta be a read, you know what I mean? You have to be ready for it. So with Dr. Fate, something you could react with is if they jump in, you could just forward 2 and get the side switch. If you timed it perfectly, you can 1-1 to punish their landing frames.
Wow, okay.
Dr. Fate is busted, man. He gets high damage off of comboing from his tree. He's so ridiculous and so fun. Thank you, Paulo, for making that character so fun. I love Dr. Fate. He's so freaking fun.
Yeah,
he's
well.
Like the second coming. I love Dr. Fate.
Yeah, I agree, Black Panther. Beat-On has a really good Dr. Fate, and quite frankly.
Oh,
what?
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
What? Did you just say Beat-On was garbage?
we're talking about like when you're driving by the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and you see those dumpsters at the back with all the waste, or like for me every Thursday when the truck comes by, picks up the little garbage can and dumps all the waste.
What?
That's
Yeah.
garbage, right? Yeah, that's beat on.
Wow! Wow!
Horrible.
Oh, wow.
Don't use the real frame traps. No. Man, it's garbage. Free. Pig says he's the best Fate because Pig don't know what he's talking about. That
Wow.
No.
Wow. I did not see that coming.
Man,
I did not see that coming. This man calling out.
Senpai does not notice you, Beaton. If you are listening, Senpai does not notice you. In this
Oh
case,
my god.
I'm the Lord of Order.
Oh my god. If you want to get a hoot at my next call out, that's gonna happen in the stream chat in the next few moments. There you go. I mean, wow, I did not see you immediately going to Dr. Fate as the most downplayed character, or for that matter that you would call one of the up-and-coming Dr. Fate players in the country right now garbage. I mean, wow.
Man, okay, let me clarify. Let me throw some shade on this topic. What has Beaton done? Dr. Fate hasn't even got a good casual setting against any high-level players. So Pigs brings in Beaton to fight Theo, because he was like, oh man, I want to see on the Fate Aquaman match. It goes, oh okay, so you're gonna get the best Aquaman in the world, which is probably Dragon right now, and you're gonna throw him against some bum who the fuck knows this guy? And he gets scraped. What now? Oh, but that's the best Dr. Fate, right? Oh, okay. Did he use the vortex in the corner? No. It's a meterless vortex. You're not using that? Garbage. You don't know that you can make ridiculous and stupid frame traps with his red onks out? Garbage. Oh, you're trying to do the teleport tech with no onks? Like, or with one onk? Okay, that's cool.
That's funny.
I'm not gonna lie. But, oh no. Oh no. No, I saw that man's Aquaman. I mean, I saw that man's Dr. Fate. I had to go get, what's that stuff? More of the story, long story short, I got
eyeball cancer. Eyeball cancer. Wow, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Man, that's funny. And now I'm gonna work on getting Dragon in here for his interview. So wow, I did not see any of this coming. I did not see any of that coming. Wow. So all right. So now that we got your pick right there up out of the way, with Dr. Fate, being the most downplayed character. Wow, I mean, man, that is something special. You did not even hesitate. Just immediately say Dr. Fate.
Till the StarCharged Freestyle gets started.
Oh boy.
Oh,
all right,
man.
well, to go along with my point with my call out. He's my buddy, but at the same time, he plays the character that is responsible for some of the hypest moments in this tournament from EVO, and he wound up getting second place at EVO. That would be my man Honeybee. I gotta call you out, homie. Dude, you complain. I cannot put it out there enough just how much you just flat out just said this character in the Flash was just absolute booty butt cheeks, and you just completely and totally beat him. And I'm living proof. I mean, he beat me 3-1 in order to advance in the winners top 16 of the entire tournament. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, dude, this character's got more than enough of what he needs in order to compete. I mean, he still is mix heavy. He still got bullshit out of the ass, like unlike anybody believes. This character can do more than compete.
Let's be honest. Let's be real. I love Lightning B to death. That's my home. One of my favorite people in the FGC. But Flash is one of those characters to where he's not garbage. He's normalized. He actually has to play a fair neutral to get in and do his plus on block 50-50s that gel into another 50-50. He's balanced and still bullshit.
Oh my god. And on top of that, he's got one of the best traits in the game, and with Flash, he's got the best super in the game, free.
Oh god.
Free.
Oh.
Free.
The best mix in the game, free. I gotta say that. His mix is better than Deadshot's, 100%. Fuck Flash.
Alright, and let me check everything with the party. You know, we're still waiting on our everybody's good buddy Dragon. And you know, he's the Evo champ, so I guess, you know, it's okay for him to be a little fashionably late, you know, to come on into the cast for his interview. But right now, you know, we're sitting now in the middle of his block, and in all honesty, you know, you want to talk about a meteoric rise in the scene right now, in terms of, you know, what he's been able to do. And, you know, this is a guy that, you know, it started out as a rumor, you know, him being as good as he is back in MKX, in the first year of MKX. I mean, when Tanya dropped, that was when you started hearing steam about a kid named Dragon on Xbox doing work, and I was just like, who? You know, STB Dragon. And so of course he was with the STB clan, and, you know, I was just wanting to keep an eye on what was going on. And then, you know, of course I had the chance to play against him, you know, casually at SCR 2015, and I was thinking to myself, okay, so he's not bad. I mean, this was during the time when Tanya was absolutely busted, and I was sitting there thinking, well, all right, you know, this character can probably carry anybody. And then, you know, it's just like, all right, whatever. But as time has gone on, he's proven himself with multiple characters, being able to adapt with multiple metas, and now having obviously shown that he can do it with multiple games, regardless of, you know, whatever else is stacked up against him, and showing to have a barrier of expertise. You know, he doesn't let that stand in his way, and it's also cultivated itself in the fact that he's now one Evo. So now live on the StarCharged StreamCast, we've got none other than the Evo World Champ himself, Noble's Dragon. Dragon, how's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you just fine, man. Yeah, welcome aboard the StarCharged StreamCast, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so now that you've had a few days to let everything settle in and just really just, you know, get your wits about you, has it sunk in that you are now the Evo World Champ?
You know, it's still kind of weird. Like, there's instances while I'm playing, it's like, did I win Evo? And then I'm like, I think I did. I don't know. It just feels weird. Like, you know you did, but it also feels like you don't. It's really hard to explain. But, you know, at the same time, it's awesome. And I don't know. It feels really surreal, but it feels awesome at the same time.
Gotcha. Now, if you could go into the party settings really quickly. I mean, the stream chat is saying that they can't really hear you, so go over to the stream settings real quick and select share voice. Sorry about that, folks. It's just that his voice is. They're saying that they can hear you. It's just hella low. So if you could turn up your mic just a little bit, that'd be great.
Okay.
Oh, that's much better.
It is?
There we
Okay.
go. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's much better. All right, so yeah, if you could
Okay.
just go ahead and you just repeat, everything that you wound up saying, that'd be great so that everybody can hear the response.
Okay, for sure. So they can hear me now?
Yep,
Yes,
they
sir.
got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, pretty much it feels, the one word I would say is it feels surreal. Sometimes I'm sitting down playing and then I see my trophy and I'm like, did I really get that this past weekend? It feels like I didn't, but I know I did. It just feels weird, but it feels good at the same time. It's awesome that I won. Hard work, dedication paying off. So it's a great accomplishment.
That's good. That's good. And with that said, you're now sitting in first place. You're tied for first place right now in the Injustice Pro Series point standings. And everybody knows, top 16, that is the cutoff before the Pro Series winds up getting to the final destination in the championship round at the end of ECT. So that said, do you still have a backlog of tournaments that you plan on going to? And if so, where do you plan on competing next in order to solidify the high seed going into the final round?
Yeah, for sure. Just pretty much all the tournaments that are Premier. I'm even going to some rankings. Actually, just one ranking, the Defend the North, that's happening in a couple weeks. Also, I'll be going to the Europe. Actually, no, I'm just going to Viennality and Versus Fighting.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not going to. Yeah.
Wow, over
Versus
there in
Fighting
Austria.
is the same weekend as Summer Jam. Yeah, exactly. Versus Fighting is during Summer Jam, so I'm just going to go back for Summer Jam. Since it's like 2 hours from my house, so it'll be easier that way. But every single Premier event besides that, I'll be going to, and racking up those points as much as I can.
All right, so that's good. And with Versus Fighting, being one of those tournaments, one of the European tournaments happening, they only get 2 for this Pro Series setting, and it seems like Versus Fighting and Summer Jam being on that same exact weekend. Do you think that kind of, with that kind of halving out, just who winds up going where? With regards to the European scenes now going to Versus Fighting, and with most of America staying here for Summer Jam, do you think that gives a lot of people who had been on the fence or had not been able to accumulate as many points coming to this point in the season a chance to actually grab some much needed status in the Pro Series to get themselves back into the thick of things?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice. At first, when you saw the schedule, actually, it said Summer Jam was after Versus Fighting. I don't know. I don't know who messed up on that. Either the Summer Jam date wasn't finalized yet when they made that, or I don't know what happened. But it's definitely not a good thing. I don't think anyone would think that's a good thing. It would be nice if they could, spread it out. I'm not sure how they could do that. I guess put the pop bonus towards another tournament in Europe, but those are the 2 big tournaments. I'm not sure what other big tournaments happen over there that they could put the pop bonus towards and the ranking points. But yeah, I mean, just gotta pick your poison, I guess. It kind of sucks for the European players. They can only get so many points at the 2 tournaments that they're limited to, which really sucks. But I mean, it is what it is, and just gotta try your best with what you have.
That's true. That's true, and overall, I would have really liked to see, a couple more European tournaments, or for that matter, a few more tournaments over, possibly even in Asia, because I was surprised, along with many, to actually hear about the news of what happened with DJT and Shen. I mean, how surprised were you to see that there was one of the the guys from the Street Fighter scene that plays the game where there's nowhere near as much of an abundance of talent in this type of a game as there is over in our hemisphere, come out and do what he did at EVO this past weekend? And do you think that's very encouraging to see for the future of scenes like that getting into the game, or do you think it might just unfortunately be, you know, a one-time thing?
Right. I mean, he beat DJT, which is a well-known player in our, you know, in our scene, and he's very good. He's a very solid player who's been extremely successful in the game. So I definitely don't think that's a one-time thing. You know, anyone who beats, you know, DJT is a solid player like that deserves, you know, that win. And it was a close set. I watched it. It was 3-2. So, you know, all credit goes to, I don't even know, how do you pronounce his name? Everyone pronounces it differently.
Shin.
Shin. Okay, alright. Yeah, well, you know, I hope to see him at another tournament, and I hope to see more people from different scenes come into it, you know, because if they see that he can do well in this game, maybe more Street Fighters players will come into the scene, and then maybe, you know, players from other communities come in as well, and, you know, just keep growing. So I don't see anything negative from it. I think it's great, and I think, you know, he can do it again, and maybe we'll see more from him, which I think we will. If he, you know, keeps on it and keeps practicing, I bet we will see more from him.
That's good. That's good. I like that thought. And overall, you know, just you know, you wound up winning the entire tournament from the winner's side of the bracket. You did not lose a set throughout the course of the entire EVO tournament. Is that something that you saw coming over the course of, you know, this opening part of Injustice, where, you know, everybody thought you were going to go on to Catwoman, and then everybody, you know, saw you moving on to different characters? Did you see this kind of result coming at all, especially after having come up short in terms of winning Combo Breaker and CEO just recently?
Definitely not. My goal was top 8, so that was my only goal. I had a pretty good path up until top 8, except for my top 8 match, which would be either Semiij or White Boy, or at least it was supposed to be. But then Nubcakes took out Semiij, which was good for me, and then Too Easy took out White Boy, or put him in the losers rather. So that was that was really good for me. So it worked out in my favor that way. So then I had to play Nubcakes for top 8 instead of either Semiij or White Boy, which was perfect to me because Aquaman versus Batman, I like that matchup better than you know, Aquaman versus Catwoman. That's just my personal preference. So it was good it worked out that way. And then once I got to top 8, I had to play Hayate, who almost beat me. I actually went Poison Ivy. I went her at first because I thought that I was more familiar with that matchup than I was with Aquaman. I haven't really played it much with Aquaman, so I tried it out. Didn't really work. Switched to Aquaman, and it worked. I didn't really know what I was doing exactly in that matchup, but it worked just because Aquaman is so much better than Robin. That's really the only reason why. And then after that, we saw Honeybee beat Sonic, which I don't think anyone was expecting. I for sure wasn't. But that was crazy. So, which means that I would have to play Honeybee next, which I'd rather play Honeybee than Sonic. You know, no offense to Honeybee, but it's just, you know, the matchup favors that better. So
hey, I'm pretty sure even Honeybee wouldn't take offense to that.
Yeah, my pathing was going perfectly. So beat Hayate, and then I had to play Honeybee, beat Honeybee, and then Honeybee had to play Theo. Or no, before that, Theo had to play Semiij. Now, I did not want to play Semiij at all, so Theo beat Semiij, which was perfect for me. And then I was like, okay, if Honeybee beats Theo, then this will be like, this is gonna be the best path in the world. So then Honeybee beat Theo, which no one thought would happen. I didn't think it would happen. So yeah, so it was me and Honeybee in the grand finals, which I was excited about because I was pretty confident going against him. So that's how it all happened, and it all, you know, worked out. I played my best, and everything worked out good.
That's good. That's good. And with that said, let's talk about your character choice in this game. When it came to you tried Poison Ivy, you have her in your pocket, but then of course when it comes to tournament time, when it comes to business time, everybody knows you right now for Aquaman. So what exactly was it that set you on Aquaman? I feel like it's almost kind of like a loaded question, but at the same time I have to know what made you stick with Aquaman, and do you honestly think the way he is right now, that's gonna hold up after NRS releases the first set of balance fixes for the game?
Right. I basically have him. I was in a really big debate after Combo Breaker and CEO. I was doing well with Ivy, but I felt like if I wanted to surpass my placings to win matches against, some of the better players who know the Poison Ivy matchup, I'm just going to need a better character, honestly. So, when it comes to competition and tournaments, I just went with Aquaman, and a lot of people ask, how do you have fun with Aquaman? But I actually do have fun with Aquaman, but I think that's because I just like playing lame. So I have a really lame playstyle. Even when I played Poison Ivy, I was extremely lame playing her.
I can attest to all of this.
Right. Yeah, so as far as the patch goes, personally, I just feel like the only thing that needs to be changed about Aquaman is I don't think back 1, 2, 3 should be plus. I think it should be minus. And also, EX Trident Rush on block should be probably -7, -8, somewhere around that range, so you lose your turn against all the characters in the game. And then after that, I think he's fine. I think a lot of people are saying he's top 1, top 2, top 3, is because what they're doing is they're looking at his tool set rather than his matchup chart. When you have to look at both, people are just looking at his tools. When you just look at his tools, you would think he's the best in the game, like, free. Maybe not free because there's Black Adam and stuff, but you would think he's top 3 for sure. But then when you look at his matchup chart, it gets a bit different. But the characters that he does do really well against, he just murders. But he does have some more losing matchups than people think. But yeah, I just think those two things, and then he'll be fine. I don't know how people think about that, but...
Oh, with that said, I'm glad you brought that up, because it seems a lot of people actually do, have a very skewed or very different opinion when it comes to, judging, a matchup chart or creating one of their own, or for that matter, even just talking balance in a game, period. So... that said, I have to ask, with regards to your character and characters, since I'm going to bring Poison Ivy into the mix, what exactly do you think are their placements, 1? 2, what do you think their bad matchups and most favorable matchups are? And I'm going to also break that even more in saying, what are their most fun matchups and what are their most unpleasant matchups? And... what do you think characters like Poison Ivy need in order for you to think, I'm going to go to this character instead of, using Aquaman, or vice versa?
Well, that was a loaded question. It kind of like, I had to write all this down. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so okay. What was the first part? You're gonna have to repeat the first part.
Okay, all right.
Break it
all right,
down.
I asked, what do you think what do you think Aquaman's bad matchups are? Right. What do you think? His what would you say your top 5 is in the game, just matchup wise? Who do you think Black Adam loses to, and who do you think he beats convincingly? And
sure,
what are some fun matchups that you like in the game? And what do you think that characters like Poison Ivy need in order to become more competitive for you to use as a main?
Okay, so my top 5 is let me see here. I'll actually bring up the character list in the game right now. Okay, so my top 5 is Atrocitus, Black Adam, let's see, Superman. This is not in order.
You don't have to put it in order, yeah.
Yeah. So Atrocitus, Black Adam, Batman, Superman, and Catwoman is my top 5. StarCharged are about to kill me.
Nah. Well, that depends on where you put her in your top 5.
yeah, I got you. I'm actually not sure. I don't know the order, but that's my top 5 as of right now.
Gotcha.
I put Aquaman right outside of it, either 6 or 7. As far as his bad matchups go, I think he loses to. Let's see
wait a minute. You say you put Aquaman right outside of your top 5?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Hell no!
Whoa!
Oh, hey.
Yes, 100%.
Whoa!
Do you want to hear his bad matchups?
No!
Wow, okay, now, this is the kind of stuff that people want to tune into the S-Cast for. Please elaborate on this. This I gotta hear. This is what we've been waiting all night to hear.
Man,
yeah, go right ahead. The floor is yours, Dragon.
Parents up and say that he is under the influence of alcohol. Oh, no.
The floor is yours, bro.
Alright, so he definitely loses to Deadshot. He loses to Ivy.
You think he loses to Atrocitus? I know a lot of Atrocitus players that would disagree with that. Yeah, among others.
Thank you.
Oh, you think so too?
Yeah, oh hell yeah, Fate destroys Aquaman.
Yeah. I think Catwoman beats Aquaman.
You said who? You said Fate destroys Aquaman?
He does really well against him, for sure.
I can see that. I honestly can see that.
Yeah, so that's 7 right there. Let me see if I missed anyone.
I'm gonna have to. All right. I'm gonna probably have you repeat this so that I can actually write this down. You said Atrocitus.
What? Okay. All right.
You said Black Adam.
Yeah. Here. I'll go in order from the character list so I don't. Oh yeah, and Red Hood as well.
All right. Yeah. Now that one I wouldn't know.
Okay. So we got Catwoman, Red Hood, Superman, Atrocitus, Deadshot, Poison Ivy, Dr. Fate, Black Adam, and that's it. Now Theo thinks Firestorm beats Aquaman, but I haven't played that matchup, so I don't know.
No, that matchup's ugly, dude. Molten Trap punishes from the deep suit. But yeah, Firestorm. I saw that matchup get played a whole bunch at my local scene. And
Yeah, I hear it's bad. Firestorm players,
well,
like, I know Gunshow thinks Aquaman wins, so that's at least 8 bad matchups.
You said possibly Firestorm could be your 8th bad matchup.
Yeah, well, that would be 9 actually.
It's pretty tough.
All right, so who was your 8th?
No,
I have listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Never mind. I've got 8. Never mind.
Yeah.
So you think
Now,
those?
does that surprise you?
That does. Some of those character choices do surprise me. Well, only the reason why they surprise me is because a lot of the folks that I know in these other character communities, I know a few folks that would disagree with a lot of the choices.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I'm not even trying to downplay when I say this, because when I played Tanya and Alien, I put them I put Tanya number 1, Alien, I wasn't sure, either number 1 or number 2. I mean, I always thought that maybe Demo was better, but anyways, I usually don't downplay my characters, and I'm not trying to downplay Aquaman either. He's a great character who does great against majority of the cast, and the ones he loses to, it's only like a slight, disadvantage, so it's not that bad, but definitely I think loses in those matchups. You could possibly put Atrocitus and Superman out there. I haven't played Atrocitus that much. Superman might be even. I don't know about that. So you could possibly switch those 2 out, leaving him with 6 bad matchups, but it's either 6 or 8, something like that.
Wow, and
I
so...
wanted to ask you this, Jerry, because I'm hearing that Wonder Woman's a bad matchup for Aqua too. I heard she beats him.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, she does well against him, but it's an even matchup in my opinion. I mean, you can't from the deep in that matchup, but you can contest her in the neutral, and you can out footsie her, and you can out damage her. So it's not a bad matchup at all.
Now,
all right, now that answers one
Robert,
question. That answers one part of that. Now, so what about those favorable matchups? What about those so all right, so you've answered the terrible matchups. All right. So what are your more favorable matchups? All right, so be honest. Who are the characters that you absolutely have a blast fighting against?
Oh, like have fun fighting against just because it's a good matchup, or like?
Oh, no, whatever you can picture in your mind having fun against this, whether it's like you like beating because it's such a favorable matchup, or you legitimately enjoy playing against these characters at a high level.
Okay.
Man, he just wants to torture people.
I like playing against Batman with Aquaman. I actually enjoy that, not just because it's a bad matchup for Batman. I just genuinely enjoy fighting against Batman. Even with Black Adam, I enjoy fighting him. I don't know why. You just feel... It feels good being able to block everything he does. I don't know, you just feel rewarded. You get rewarded for blocking more, but I don't know, it's just fun to play against him. Let's see. Superman, in my opinion, is fun to play against with Aquaman. That's probably a bad matchup, but it's still fun for me. Cheetah is fun to fight against. Brainiac. Oh, Bane. Bane is all. I love Bane versus Aquaman. That's a really fun matchup.
Nice.
Scarecrow versus Aquaman is fun too. I think that's really it. There's not too many others that, I mean, there's some that it's like I'm either way. Like, it's not that I hate fighting it, but it's not that I have fun fighting it either, you know? But the ones I hate fighting are, well, probably all the matchups that I listed. I don't like fighting Atrocitus, Black Adam, Catwoman, Deadshot, Ivy, Dr. Fate, or Red Hood with Aquaman.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Now,
Superman, I'm
I
actually fine fighting with Aquaman, though.
Oh, wow.
And then what do you, and the last piece, really quick, Dab Jr., and he has to answer this last piece. When it comes to Poison Ivy and characters like that, what do you think they need in order to really be able to compete, you know, once this balance patch hits?
You know, I've been thinking about this, and I think she definitely needs a better anti-air. Thing that'll definitely help her control a bit more. Whereas, you know, there's just majority of the cast doesn't even really care about her zoning. They just block 1 or 2 vine drills, and then they're in jump distance, and then that's it. And then she can't get off the ground, she can't anti-air them. So I think that could definitely help her out. Also, a big thing is making her down 1 be able to cancel into vine drill, or what? You know, some. Well, who said that?
was that me.
Oh, that was you.
That was me. I was like, what? Well, that'd be beefy.
Nah, I don't think so. I'm trying to think, cause like her down 1 not being able to cancel into anything that combos really, because pretty much every character in the game can cancel their down 1 into combos. I think there's only like 2 or 3 that can't. She's one of the characters that can, and it really hurts her punishing game, because her fastest punish that's not down 1 is standing 1, and that's 8 frames. So things that are, you know, -7, -8, you can't punish at all. So she has trouble, you know, punishing a lot of things unless you just want to down 1 punish and that's it. So I think that would definitely help her out a lot, just an anti-air and then down 1 comboing into vine drill. And then she'd probably be fine there. I mean, she would still have trouble getting off the ground, but, you know, it would definitely help her out.
I got you. All right, go right ahead, Dab Jr. I know you've wanted to ask him something for a minute.
Oh yeah, so I want to ask you. Not ask you. I'm sorry. Yeah, Robert, I wanted to back him up on that. He kept it pretty real about Aquaman, to be honest. As much of a pain in the ass as Aquaman is written off to be, that character is very toned down from what he was in Injustice 1, and he gets scraped by a lot of characters.
He
Like
is.
from the deep isn't nearly as overwhelming as it used to be. His trait is nerfed quite hard. Trident Rush being punishable and whatnot now is a huge deal. His meter build from Trident Rush also being changed. That's hella big. So it's like most of his. I feel like the bullshit with Aquaman. That's true. But I feel like the bullshit with Aquaman now is his frame traps are ridiculous. Like, he has amazing frame trap capability.
Yeah.
How do
And
you
back
feel about
on
that,
2-3, what's up?
Oh yeah, I'll say, how do you feel about his frame traps?
Oh, well, I mean, back 1-2-3, I think has to go no matter what. I think it's too good. But like a thing about that though is back 1-2-3 being minus actually is another nerf in itself. His back 1-2-3 being plus is mainly just a meter building tool, also with the frame trap, you know, in there. So you're mainly using that for meter building. So when you nerf that, you're nerfing his meter building as well, which nerfs Aquaman as a whole. So I think just that in general would be, you know, a really big change that would, you know, help some characters be able to fight against it. Not really fight against it, but it would tone him down, if that makes sense.
Right. I agree with it. Can't agree with you anymore, man. Can't agree with you anymore, buddy.
Yeah, you're definitely keeping a lot of it real, my man. This everybody, this Noble Dragon right over here on the StarCharged StreamCast tonight, as we everything is winding down in this interview. Hey, now you told me, you know, as you know, you're Evo World Champion. You're sitting #1 in Injustice points. You're sitting well in War of the Gods right now. You are pretty much making quite a name for yourself and quite a bit of money, to say the least, doing what you're doing right now so far in this Injustice Pro Series and it's in this season. So, but at the same time, you know, as I know, you know, everybody, when everybody comes away from tournaments, we all have our arrangements in life that we got to get back to: work, school, whatever. All right. And so yeah, you're not in school right now, are you? And so
no.
With that said, you know, let everybody on the stream know just what Young Dragon does when he's away from the controller and right back to the day job. Let everybody know what you're doing. So let everybody know.
That homework, that Pornhub.
No. Oh my god. Nothing like that. No. I work at my mom's insurance agency. I'm interning as IT support. Yeah.
No shit, really?
Yeah. It's just part-time, but you know, it's something.
You know, this is a good question for everybody. How often do you practice? When you hit the lab, what are you looking at? And what's the difference between the amount of time you put into playing sets and matches against people? Who are you playing sets and matches against? Compared to the amount of time you're putting in the lab?
Yeah, so I play from anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a day, I'd say. Maybe even 6 through 12. It depends on the day. Some days I don't play at all. I just take a break, you know. But some days I'll play 12 hours. Some days I'll play 2 hours. You know, it just depends on what's happening. But on most days, I'd say average about 8 hours a day. To be honest, it's almost like a full work day. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say I practice that much. As far as playing sets with people and labbing, I definitely want to lab more. That's always something that I've wanted to do. I mean, I do put a good amount of time into labbing. It's usually, I'd say, like in an 8-hour day, maybe like an hour of that is labbing, which I actually want to do more of that. Because sometimes I feel like I play, but I need to lab more of the things that, you know, I'm playing against, which I do, just not to the extent that I want to.
Right, and now that we're about to head into the freestyle section of the streamcast, you know, I've got to ask, you know, why is guys like you and Theo, why do you guys always like to duck folks whenever you guys go ahead and play, get asked to play folks? What's the deal?
Okay,
What's
now.
the deal?
No.
Okay,
Okay,
now,
so...
here's what it looks like when these guys always ask for games. This is what it looks like.
No, so I'm serious. When you did invite me, I really was. I know a couple of times I was going to bed, or a couple of times I was about to play someone else. So yeah, but no, let's play. If you're on tomorrow, hit me up and let's play.
Of course,
100%.
man.
And if I do, you can blow me up on Twitter.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, bro. I've actually already gotten a head start on the blow-ups tonight, man. But that's for everybody because, you know, I love bringing out the highlights of the interviews and bringing them up on Twitter so that everybody can get a load of everything that everybody's, you know, saying over here and having fun in this SCast, man. This is too fun. Hey, Dragon. Thank you so much for taking some time out of the night to go ahead and speak with us tonight, man. This was a blast.
Of course.
I mean, you brought the real stuff, and you actually kept it real when it came to Aquaman. You kept it real all the way up until you told me where you placed them in your list. I mean,
oh no,
you gave good reasons. You gave your reasons. You gave your reasons, but at the same time,
He's right.
I'm just like, at the same time, yeah, that's still gonna take some time for me to process.
I mean, if you look at all the top 5 characters, they don't have near as bad matchups as Aquaman.
I don't know, man, but
He's right.
at the same time, you know, I definitely learned something when it came to hearing you explain just why when it came to some of his other matchups. I mean, I wouldn't know about Red Hood versus Aquaman right now, although I can probably see it being a bad match. I can probably see that on paper. And then of course Dr. Fate, I've always wondered about that one, but you know, it's just like I ask, you know, 3 Dr. Fate players, and if I'll ask 3 Aquaman players, I'm gonna get 6 different answers on that match.
That's true.
Now straight up, I've trained with the best Dr. Fate player on the planet. You know, not named Dab Jr. You know, and my boy Lord Peanut up there in Dallas, and you know.
Oh, I thought you were about to say OMGXV done. You would have triggered Peanut, and I would have sent it.
I wasn't gonna do my man Dab Jr. like that.
Oh, I would have left the stream.
I wouldn't have done him like that. I mean, like I said, the no chill section portion of the stream is up next, but. At this point, you know, we're just trying to, you know, keep it good. We're trying to end everything good, and you know, I'm just sitting here just wondering, you know, all right, now, given this point in the Injustice Pro Series, I think this will probably be the last question for you.
Sure.
Well, we are in the Injustice Pro Series. All right, now, I don't know if you've kept up with all the names that are in right now, that are in the top 16 right now, or who's on the outside looking in, but of all the players that probably have not registered any points in this yet as we're going into the second half of this season, who do you think is that silent killer that could probably shake things up in a huge way and possibly even qualify, that has not had the opportunity to come out to any one of the premieres yet? You can American, European, Asian, it doesn't matter. Who do you think has that potential right now and why?
That's actually a really good question. It's something that you don't really think about, but it's also a good question at the same time. To be honest, I would say Gunshow. He's not able to make it out to as many tournaments anymore, but I think if he did start making it out to tournaments, I think I'm not sure if he's able to go to any. I'm pretty sure he's able to make it to 1 or 2, so I definitely think that he can shake things up and possibly even make it, depending on how he does. I think that's a really good choice. I'm not sure who else. I think that,
So that's a good name, man. He did work when he was able to travel during the course of MKX's lifetime.
Yeah, he did. He's a very good player. Raptor is a good one, but I don't know if he's going to.
That's another very good one.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to any tournaments. I mean, he's been playing in War of the Gods and has been doing really well. So I think if he does go offline, he's definitely going to be up there in points for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, Dragon, will also be a good one in the name.
Who?
OMGX beat on Kappa.
Oh my my god.
Oh my god.
I actually think he's good. I just don't know. I don't know much about him. I don't know if he's gone to any tournaments. If he's going, like I don't know anything about him.
He goes
really.
to the next level battle circuits up there in the Northeast.
Oh. Oh, okay. So.
All right, and so yeah, and so that's our boy Dover, Delaware's own Noble Dragon. Hey man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, my man. You've been a treat. This was a treat, to say the least.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna hug you at the next tournament I see you at, Dragon. Just
you're gonna what?
I'm gonna hug the fuck out of you at the next tournament I see you at.
All right, sure, man. Oh my god.
I'm gonna hug the fuck out of you.
I'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
Unless you come behind me.
Best believe that's where it's coming from.
Whoa. What's that? Oh my god.
I can tell my boy Dab Jr. is ready for the freestyle section of the stream, man. Yo, before this man finds a way to really turn this into a well beyond M-rated affair, man. Dragon, thank you so much for coming on board. I can't wait to.
Thank you for having me, man. Really.
No problem, man. I can't wait to spar against you, and I can't wait to see you at Summer Jam.
For sure.
Man. Take it easy. Good luck through the rest of the way of the Pro Series, and hopefully, I hope to see you in the finals at the end of this season.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, and everybody. That was Noble Dragon. Easily the interview of the night, man. That was nothing short of good stuff, and wow, so much good stuff out of that one interview, and now we are. We're at that point in the show now where we can just get into the spitball inside of things. We can go into freestyle. Dab Jr. I don't know how much more you got left in the tank, given just how much chill you've lost.
It's officially the freestyle now, right?
Yep. I mean,
so what y'all think about these FGC Hoes? Man, there's so many thoughts in the oh boy. Man, so stream. StarCharged, what you think about the FGC thoughts? And I'm not talking about the SG. No, they ain't thoughts. Those are upright.
Well, I think about FGC what?
FGC thoughts, hoes.
The hoes. Honestly, I think the FGC is stepping its game up in terms of the faces we see out here. I mean, we've had our fair share of frame traps in the vicinity in the FGC over the years, but at the end of the day, the FGC, comparing it now to what it was when I came into the scene 7 years ago is night and day, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I had my fair share of boning Strategics, but that's Forever King Michelangelo walked in on a little bit of that. That shit's fire. But let's talk about some real stuff in the FGC. Why the fuck is it that? So Robert, why is it in the FGC that it's not? It doesn't feel like what it could and should possibly be. I feel like people are more prone to blaming their character for their downfall. Like playing the win, for example. Yet again. So you got all these people who, like Foxy Grandpa, for example, who will straight up say, the character is good, I'm bad. That's a world-class player calling himself bad and defending his character's worth. But there's so many other people that will be like, hey, I'm losing this matchup. My character's garbage. Bottom 3. Buff Kenshi. All of that garbage, stupid, bullshit nonsense that doesn't need to be being said. Dude, and it's so obnoxious because they'll want to sit there and one character throughout the entirety of the game and take the title of a pro gamer, but I have nothing wrong with people that only play one specific character. That's cool, that's great, that's amazing, honestly. But to sit there and be like, well, Captain Cold is broke because I only play Flash and I don't have a character that can get around Captain Cold. Captain Cold is only bullshit, he's broken as fuck, that's cheap. Bitch, it's a fucking competitive game. Every single game that's competitive in the world, everything that has two things against each other has bad matchups. Conor McGregor is a bad matchup for Jose Aldo.
Hey, yo, Jazz Jr., can you turn up your mic a little bit, bud? I hate to stop you while you're in full flow, but if you could turn your mic up a little bit, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, let me get that settled right now.
All right, and while you're doing that, you're saying, you know, like Conor McGregor was a bad match for Jose Aldo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything has a bad matchup. Everything, literally everything has a bad matchup. So it's like, why would people sit there and, you know, complain about all these things, knowing damn well that they're going to run into bad matchups? They're going to run into that character that's just on the opposite side of the matchup chart, waiting to fuck that character. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the use of sitting there and complaining instead of broadening your character variety? It's not Flash's fault that he gets fucked by Captain Cold. He shouldn't need all these buffs that's going to turn him into a character that's 7-3-8-2s a shit ton of characters and gives him no bad matchups. That's not fair. That's not balanced. That's literally just bullshit. You know, like, nobody's mindset should be, I'm losing, it's the character's fault. It should be, I'm losing, what am I doing wrong as a player, and what am I doing wrong in the matchup? You know what I mean? And that's just my take on how the FGC is going. Honestly, not to throw shots, actually to throw shots, I blame it on people like Pig the Hut who are.
This is the time to like throw shots. You're gonna throw them.
So we're gonna go into it. It's like there's people like Pig the Hut who are like big names in the community, people that people really idolize. I myself idolized them all up until MKX when I thought he turned into a bitch. But you know, all up in like there's people that idolize these people and they listen to the things they say. They take the things that they say to heart. They look up to them, and they're setting such a shit example of how to be in competitive fighting game playing. You shouldn't sit there and show people on your stream or post these tweets about, oh, you know, Atroz just loses to Black Adam. Atrocitus is garbage. He can't possibly be top 5. He's bad. He sucks. He's not a good character. No. Okay, so okay, you're saying that, but you know, I've seen Atrocitus players win that matchup. Or actually, let me throw a better example in it. MKX, Kamasi Reborn, extremely underrated. If you've never heard of him, you gotta hear about it. Kamasi Reborn is hands down the best Kenshi in the world. He was amazing. He was great. For those of you who know him, you know what he's about. He was winning matchups with Kenshi from the start of the game all the way up until the end, using Kenjutsu, using Balance, using Possess. He used all of them. Every single one of those variations, he used it. When Kenshi's meter burn down back 1 was a 1-frame link, doing meter burn down back 1 into back 1, that being a 1-frame link, Kamasi was doing that consistently online on a 40-inch TV, taking it offline to CEO, and almost beating Dragon, who was at the time using fucking Alien. Like, that's something Pig would sit there and be like, this matchup's horrible, garbage, Kenshi, bottom 5, trash. Character needs buffs. I need to find counterpicks. I'm quitting the game. Fuck this shit. That's the example he's setting, while people like Kamasi are saying like, fuck the odds, I'm gonna make this shit work, or I'm just not gonna say shit at all, and I'm just, either way, I'm gonna find a way to make things work. Like, I'm all over the place, but what I'm trying to get at is the main faces of the community are setting horrible examples as... And then it goes to show when that one unknown player that you might not know about is making things happen. They're making shit work because they're like, fuck what they're saying. I'm gonna figure this shit out. You know what I mean?
And yeah, that's an epidemic problem. You know, throughout the course of the entire FGC. You know, folks never really wanting to just come out and say, you know, the character's not the problem, I'm the problem, and I need to figure things out. You know, such and such, they want to complain about such and such character when they find out that and then all of a sudden that they want to find out that they've got options when they're actually told to lab it. When they find out that they do have options against such and such character, they're like, oh. So that's why people are saying that I got frauded out. So that's why.
Check this out. This is another point I want to bring up to you and discuss with you. This is sad. Why is it that they need to complain about a character? And this is going to happen to Dr. Fate. Mark my words. It's going to happen to Dr. Fate. And this is going to be sad. Dr. Fate has a vortex. He has some of the best zoning patterns in the game. He has the best grounded mobility in the game. He's easily a very fucked up character, but people are writing him off as bottom 5, and for what? He's great. He's amazing. They're just not willing to lab with the character like I did, or like Beat On, or I'm gonna give Beat On and them credit. They're willing to lab the character like those people fleshed out the character, and they're willing to try and make shit work with him, even though they downplay him hard. But that character is gonna need all these stupid, retarded buffs in order to be recognized for anything. Like, no one's gonna start labbing and finding shit until they have all these stupid buffs that draw attraction to the character, where it's like they're clearly overpowered.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm actually kind of glad that NRS has taken the stance that they've taken on the game up to this point, in spite of the fact that one of the negatives about it actually wound up rearing its head at EVO with the way that the tournament was won. And of course, this comes with absolutely no disrespect to Dragon. Like I said, I don't hate the player, I hate the game whenever it comes to situations like this. But at the end of the day, them taking the stance of, you guys need to learn the game, figure it out, and actually apply yourself in the training mode. Apply yourself in the lab. Find things out instead of thinking, oh, my character's terrible. There's nothing I can do here. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Get your tail in the lab. Find solutions and actually use what you got to your advantage. You don't like what you got with such a character? Move on to another character. I mean, I don't know how many characters have been released. There's been 2 extra characters released since the release of this game. I mean, it's the number of this characters in this game is well over 24 characters in this game. Find somebody that suits what you do best. Whether the top tier or low tier, be damned. If that character suits what you like to do, suits your strengths as a player, and in fact, then that's who you need to use. In fact, I saw a quote on Twitter, and this is what's actually going to come into play in future casts. I'm going to bring a lot of tweets and a lot of different context into play. Shin, of course, we've talked about him earlier in the cast, for what he did against DJT in the tournament, and he actually posted up a quote on Twitter just yesterday. It said, about how the process of going about choosing a main character in any game goes, or should go. It says, the characters that are, there's a difference between characters that you have to make time for you have to wait till your free time to use them, and characters that you actually make time for because you enjoy using them.
Exactly.
And that's what it should come down to when it comes to choosing a character that you play in any game, or for that matter, just enjoying the game, period.
Exactly.
If you found that kind of character where you make time for that character, then you found your main character. Guess what?
Exactly.
You enjoy using that character, you want to explore more what that character's got to offer, there you go. As opposed to a guy that's just like, alright, well, in my free time, when I get ready to train, that's when I'm going to use this man so that I can level him up, get ready for this tournament, get ready for whatever. Yeah, because he's my best chance to win. Only because he's my best chance to win. More than anything, I found that folks actually have their best chance to win right there in their face when they're using a character that they actually love using. Exactly. Like me personally. I know how to use Aquaman. I know how to use Black Adam. I know how to use all these other characters in the game. But the thing is, the only character that's actually captivated my interest in any Injustice game, period, outside of Firestorm, now in this game, is Catwoman. She's a character I've enjoyed using ever since the first one. Even when she was not seen as a great character in the game.
Well, a better example, though. Look at you and Katana. MK?
Oh, yeah.
You used Katana since day one. Katana was, I hate to really she was garbage.
She was dog shit when the game came out.
Yeah,
I hate saying that about that character, period. I hate saying that about her in any context. But when MKX came out on release, there was no question in the world. She was absolute dog shit.
She was garbage.
And
worst pokes, worst everything, basically.
It was terrible, man. And you know, we want to know something. In spite of that, she was still the only character I enjoyed using, in spite of how bad she was for the game's, and for the game's first 18 months. And you want to know something? You know, people always want to throw out, you know, how she was when she got, you know, the buff she got afterward. But at the end of the day, she was still lacking compared to a lot of other characters, such that it wasn't that she was a bad character. It was that she was just nowhere near as good as some of the other characters in the game that outshined everything she could do right.
Exactly.
And it really didn't get on an even playing field for her until 18 months of the game's lifespan, when the game got patched again in October of last year, when she became what she is now. But in spite of that, I played her regardless. I played her during the Alien era and wound up having good success during the Alien era of the game. And then of course she got buffed, and of course my patience and the playstyle that I had developed up to then finally got rewarded with some better complimentary tournament results along the way. But that didn't stop me from achieving good stuff with her back when she wasn't the best character there, or when she wasn't even close to being in the discussion for one of the best characters in the game. I mean, people need to learn how to work with what they've got, find solutions with what they've got, especially if it's a character that you enjoy using. If it's a character you enjoy using, you're gonna find those solutions one way or another. You're gonna find them because you don't like seeing that character lose, and so you're gonna actually go in the lab, you're gonna break all these other matchups down, you're gonna find any inkling of an advantage you can to exploit in any competitive, casual, or whatever kind of circumstance there exists in that game, and you're gonna find a way to make it work. Simply because of the fact that you got the passion with that character and the passion for the game to get better. But unfortunately, patches, updates, constant feedback from the community, from players that just don't know how to work for any of that, that would just rather let the developers do the job for them. That's what eventually, you know, gets the games to the point to where they are just not fun to play anymore. And that is what I applaud NRS for their approach to this game. I mean, there's some things that do need to get patched in this game right now. There is no question about that.
Yeah, there's bugs. Yeah,
there is no question about this. There's some characters that do need adjusting, but at the end of the day, them letting the game settle to the point to where everybody's on their own for a set amount of time up until whatever they're going to plan on touching the game and updating the game, and actually playing things out before anything happens, I applaud that. And a big thing that actually I think goes into this is the fact that you've got these two DLC characters that have been released in Red Hood and Sub-Zero. I don't consider them anywhere near the levels of stupid that past NRS DLC characters have been on release. I mean, everybody from the MK9 era remembers Scarlet, Kenshi. I mean, we remember Rain when he first released, what he was capable of. I mean, those characters were absolutely
don't forget Martian.
I was getting there. And Justice 1, you've got Martian Manhunter, who quite frankly had an execution barrier. He had some BS that was too easy to execute when it came to, you know, stuff like his teleport being safe and his overhead teleport being safe and whatnot. But, you know, outside of that, Martian took quite a bit of skill to actually use at any level, period. But at the same time, that still didn't stop the fact that he was one of those characters that was extremely strong, along with Zod. Everybody remembers that girl.
Oh god.
Everybody remembers that.
From Zod, everyone's gonna remember Alex Dave versus Revolver. That was honestly just the nail in the coffin of Zod was actually broken. He pretty much full screen block infinited him with just Zod balls. One Zod ball pattern, and it was literally just GG.
Agreed. And it was just like, dude, he literally had 9 ones across the board, across some matchups. Like Lex Luthor versus Zod, that was a legitimate 9-1 matchup. There was nothing Lex.
Don't forget Sub-Zero versus Kenshi.
And then Sub-Zero versus Kenshi and MK9, and then I mean it was just bad. And then it meant Katana versus Kenshi and MK9. That was just bad, dude.
Exactly.
And then you get into MKX. And you think that they've probably learned and gotten over that, and it's just like,
no,
oh, of course, here comes pre-patch Tanya, and you're like,
Tanya.
What the hell?
Plus block teleport.
Yeah, Kobu Jutsu, and then of course, oh yeah, how could I forget? How could I forget? Pre-patch Scorpion was one of the. It made pre-patch Scorpion actually made Watch Mojo's top 10 most broken fighting game characters in history list.
Yeah.
He made that list. He made that list. And quite frankly, I had no debate for it. Against it. I had no debate against it. That was the honest to God truth. And then
I want to point this out. Since we got Paulo in the stream, I really want to bring it up even more. I feel like the greatest thing that NRS has done with their progress towards Injustice 2
I don't think he's there anymore, buddy.
Oh, he's here.
I don't know. I don't see. I'm trying to look him up. I don't see him here.
Oh, he's here. Yeah, he's there.
He is there. All
right. As I wanted to say that, like with NRS and their progress all the way up until Justice 2, it's pretty amazing because it's like they got to really experiment with different things. They had MK9, and as far as I can remember, because I was young when that game came out, it didn't get nearly enough patches as honestly as truly needed. Because that game was very fucked up. Cyrax, Cabal, all that garbage was pretty fucked up. DLC was overpowered as shit. Injustice 2, they let some straight BS. It was probably the same as MK9. Yeah, Injustice 1, I'm sorry. But then, MKX comes out, and that game's getting patched and hotfixed every month. And honestly, that was pretty ridiculous and overwhelming. And now that, Injustice 2 came out, they actually let the game slide all the way up until EVO. I was honestly shocked. With the impression that Injustice 1 left on the community and with its history at EVO, with KDZ versus DJT Grand Finals, I thought they were going to patch the hell out of this game before EVO. And they didn't do it, which I'm glad they didn't, because it's honestly starting to show the community that they're not going to sit there and kind of baby them through the game and give them everything they want, just because it's like, oh, we're crying about this, we're going to nerf that, we're going to buff this, we're going to nerf that, we're going to buff this, over and over and over again, So, I feel like that was a great thing. That's a great transition from NRS, is waiting things out and seeing the game evolve.
I mean, overall, when you talk about this game in comparison to the others, you can see this is the best game that NRS has put out balance-wise and netcode-wise on release ever. This is the best thing that they've ever put out on release and not had to touch, because the opening balance was actually pretty daggum decent. And what's more, when you talk about games like MK9, man, MK9 in my opinion was a game that was one patch away from being perfect. If NRS actually had their way and was actually able to continue to support MK9, I'm pretty sure that game would have actually would still be played today. It would still be played today because the fact it would have been our version of Killer Instinct, because that game's been kept alive through all different kinds of patches and all different kinds of seasons. MK9 would still be played today because of the fact that it was just one patch away balance-wise from being perfect. It was a really solid game in retrospect, but it had its problems. Don't get me wrong.
I agree.
But at the end of the day, they did a lot of things right, and the only thing that they didn't do right in that game's life was give it the patch in the end that we were promised, but we never did get. That would have really just turned that game into an all-time classic. It still is an all-time classic. Don't get me wrong. And because it was their first attempt at becoming a competitive fighter, and it actually was successful because it got the NRS community their first taste of esports with MLG. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just one of those kinds of things where, you know, you can tell that they brought past experiences from that game, from Injustice 1 and MKX into this game on release, and it's turned into a very reputable product to the point to where you see guys from Japan, Thailand, Singapore, you know, over on that side of the world that would usually never give our games a fair shake. Not that they would have deserved it at the time, but actually sticking the game out and doing well enough for themselves to where they are able to come over here and compete with the game's best here in the Western Hemisphere.
Exactly.
I mean, seeing expansion like that is what it's all about, and what I love seeing, and why I love the FGC, because you never know you never know who could come out and from where they could come out to actually turn into the next killer. But
here it is.
But at the same time, you can just tell that, you know, with the way this game is right now, you know, I look forward to this balance patch. I look forward to the DLC characters that come out, because it looks like that they've learned. I don't want this to be like the Jinx, you know, knock on wood. I definitely hope they keep the good momentum in terms of, you know, the way that they're releasing these DLCs, because they're not overpowered, but at the same time, you can tell that they've got the potential to be able to compete for themselves without being absolutely busted. So I love seeing that improvement, you know, upon the NRS games right now.
Yeah, well, Sonic Fox honestly displayed how fucked up Darkseid could be. You know, so that's a pretty clear showing of it.
In all honesty, guys like Sonic, they can bring the potential out of any character, man. In fact, if Sonic really wanted to pick up Captain Cold and turn him into a force, I actually believe he could. I believe it.
Well, you see? Have you seen the tech on Twitter? That character has unblockable setups. Captain Cold's ridiculous.
I mean, Captain Cold, I mean, I honestly don't think that you're going to see a lot of Captain Cold representation, especially now that Sub-Zero's out. I mean, I think everybody there is just migrated to Sub, but at the end of the day, you know, seeing where this game is balance-wise, it definitely gives me hope for the rest of this game's life, along with any future NRS titles, and that they've really started to turn the corner that way. And quite frankly, it couldn't have come at a better time, because, you know, switching into another gear, while I was at EVO, I was busy playing a lot of other different games, because as we all know, there's a lot of different games coming out here in the next year with Marvel Infinite and DB Fighter Z.
Did you play that game? Did you play the new Dragon Ball Z game?
I played both Marvel Infinite and Dragon Ball Fighter Z at EVO, and needless to say, if I had to choose one or the other, I'm easily going DBZ. DB Fighter Z, it's just too good. It's just way too good. It is. Let me put it to you like this: that game's only the build that was there was only 20% complete, but it's better than far superior than the game in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that's about to release in about the next couple of months. It's far superior. It out-marvels Marvel, but in a good way.
Is it just like the mechanics, or
the mechanics, the way that the game feels movement-wise, the way the game feels overall in terms of the tag mechanics? There's so much you can do with that mechanic, and then of course there's just the fact that you're doing it with DBZ characters who are all going to just find ways to just absolutely blow each other apart. And just the overall way that it ties itself in with DBC overall is just absolutely astonishing. It really is. I mean, that game is going to really be the big thing when it comes out, and I don't know if I can say it'll be a main game of mine. I still see myself playing this as my main game competitively going forward. But at the end of the day, yeah, DB Fighter Z looks really good, and that's still only the tip of the iceberg as far as a lot of the other games that were there that are being shown off. I mean, there was another game that was there that I absolutely loved. Yeah, playing. It was a game off to the side. It had its own booth, and the developers were also there promoting it and explaining people how it worked. It's a game called Omen of Sorrow.
I heard about that.
Oh yeah, I'm even putting it in the stream right now.
But man, I want to talk to you more about some other stuff going on in the fighting game community, though. Since we are on the freestyle segment.
Yeah. I'm just wanted to put it out there, man. If you guys hadn't heard of Omen of Sorrow, go look that game up. It is really, really good. It is. I mean, it has potential. It's like a cross between Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters, and Killer Instinct all in one. It's really good.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, it is a really good mix. But yeah, going into the rest of the FGC community, man, what did you have on your mind?
Man, I had to get it off my chest about the FGC, but is it just me, or does it feel like a lot of people in the fighting game community are more concerned about, you know, like they're not really concerned about anything else but getting sponsors instead of trying to be the best anymore?
I couldn't agree more.
Does it feel that way to you?
Dude,
it seriously feels like that.
I'm gonna give you my take on that from having 7 years of experience now within the FGC. I mean, I came up, my first ever tournament in the FGC was when I was going to school in Rolla, Missouri, and I was 105 miles away from St. Louis, which is where the tournament was, because this was at the time where St. Louis was starting to understand, well, what do you know, we got an offline scene over here in Missouri, who knew? And so everybody gathered up to actually have this tournament. This tournament happened at a movie theater inside of their arcade. What? Oh yeah, this was back during the days where Street Fighter 4, where Super Street Fighter 4 was the main thing. This was the hotness. Super Street Fighter 4 was the absolute hotness at this time. That and Marvel. Oh no, this preceded Marvel. This preceded Marvel coming into the equation. And what happens is, you know, you've got Street Fighter just doing its thing, and everybody wants to play it at a tournament level at some point. And so we all pulled together and we all got to this movie theater in the arcade, and we made it all happen. And I did all right in that tournament. It was my first ever tournament. I wound up getting like 13th or something out of like 40 some odd people, which was all right for my first ever tournament. But you know, everybody went there. Nobody cared about getting paid. Nobody was even really talking about guys that were there that were even. So there wasn't a single sponsored player there. Nobody there was sponsored, and nobody really even cared. Everybody played the game. Everybody enjoyed playing the game, and it didn't matter whether you were good, bad, terrible, godlike, indifferent. It did not matter. Everybody came out to this. Everybody enjoyed driving, you know, the hours that they drove to get to these tournaments back when it was in the grassroots era, that made it, you know, all worthwhile. It was all one community-run effort, and you know, all of that other superficial junk when it came to the tournament scene was not something that wound up taking precedence in everybody's mind until everybody saw the legitimate sponsors and the legitimate money that started coming in. And at that point, and then of course when fighting games embraced when everybody saw what eSports was doing, and so seeing the incredible amounts of debt that tournaments were getting into, I mean, there's a lot of tournaments were dying. Grassroots tournaments were dying. I mean, what you see on the tournament schedule right now in this current day and age right now, this is only a fraction of tournaments that were once ever in existence. Local, regional, major, it doesn't matter. I mean, I remember tournaments like Seasons Beatings, Shadaloo Showdown, Ultimate Fighting Game Tournament, although it's been succeeded now by Combo Breaker in Chicago. I mean, there's so many different tournament series. Power Up, which is known for having the reintroduction of Mortal Kombat to the competitive scene. I mean, you have so many different tournament series that have gone defunct now because the FGC just did not have the money, the funds to just keep it all sustained. And then of course that's where eSports came in. All the money surrounding these tournaments now, and all the money surrounding these brands getting into them, because we've repped their product in a niche market as well as we have, and that niche market has grown into links where you see Evo being on Disney Channel and ESPN too.
Exactly.
And then you see Evo being home to 3 different pro leagues getting so much support from the developers because now the developers have all embraced the tournament aspects of their game to the point to where that's what ultimately influences what they put on the shelves. Because tournaments help them balance and actually put out a better product, and that's come to fruition big time over the last several years. And so, little by little, the FGC, which was reluctant to getting into esports, actually started embracing the idea when the developers came on board. And now you see everybody, now you look at a major nowadays, dude, you look at a top 16, you look at the top 16 at EVO this past year, this just a few days ago, and point out everybody in the top 32 that doesn't have an org tag or a team tag next to their name. I mean, there's only a couple of players in that top 32 that are not with a team. And several years ago, that used to not be the case. It used to be like only like some guys in the top 8, only a handful of guys had that kind of backing going for them. And quite frankly, sponsorships are actually more of a thing that everybody needs to look into a lot more. I've got my stories as far as that's concerned before they actually get on board with a team. Because some of the teams that actually get involved, some of them are only involved for a quick buck, and then some teams are actually don't have as much backing as they like to let you believe that they do, but at the same time they promise you the world anyways. So it's important to really get, you know, good feedback as far as getting into a team before thinking that, oh my god, you know, I've got this jersey, I'm with this team now, I'm esports now. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It really just doesn't. And and it's just like, you know, there's sources out there now in the FGC, guys like Maze with Noble, who can actually let people know just what they're getting into. Guido, of course, with my team, BXA, that can let you know what's good. But at the end of the day, you know, the FGC it is night and day now compared to what it once was back when I first came into it as far as sponsorships are concerned.
Man, I just gotta throw this joke out there because it's gonna be funny as hell, man, but critical reactions, man. Honeybee just left him today. Boy,
oh, he did?
They are looking like, yeah. Man, they're looking like Death Row Records back in the 90s.
Wow.
Like,
I mean, you know, and wow, that's actually interesting because that goes against what I was told over the weekend, you know. But that's another story. But wow, that is a shock to say the least. That is breaking news,
he
folks.
Announced it on, he announced it on Twitter and everything. Man, it's crazy.
And you want to know something? You know, it's weird because I was looking on the Team CR website not too long ago to see who else they had on their roster, and they're still their website has not been updated in some time. And to give you an idea, it still shows Sonic Fox, Dragon, and multiple other players on that team that have long since departed and signed elsewhere. And then, of course, I don't see a single thing up on that website about Honeybee actually coming in second at EVO. So that's I gotta wonder what's going on there. But nevertheless, that's a big development to say the least. And I can only think that at this point, Honeybee can name his price to whoever, you know, wants to come into the fray.
Man, it's crazy with all the changes and whatnot coming into the FGC. It's wild.
It really is, and you know, I have a feeling it's only going to get crazier. I mean, it is just something that, you know, it's just like I said, teams come and go. Things happen in the world of esports that not everybody is aware of, and you need to look into that before you sign in with a team. And it could be the difference between you being on a really solid team or you being on a team that's not around for much longer, but one way or the other. And it really is something to see. It really is something that everybody needs to do their research on before getting involved, because I've seen a lot of really good players get screwed and haggled out of really good positions.
By the way, guys, while he's on that topic, never join in Control Gaming. I can't wait for my contract to end next month.
Oh wow, so we're going there.
Dude, them motherfuckers are shady as hell, man.
So what's happened? I guess I can't ask you what's happened with you, but at the same time, you know, it's just like, well, there you go, you know. And talk with the folks that have actually been with some of these teams. If you guys are new to the world of esports and you're going into a team and you know a player that's been with that team in the past, ask questions on that player in your scene with that team on what things are like, so that you can get an idea in case that team is not giving you a clear idea when they talk to you. Actually do some research on that, and trust me when I tell you, you'll actually find yourself in a better place when it comes to examining your offers. Because if that team really wants you as bad as they say they do, they'll wait up for you. They'll listen.
Exactly. Man,
I mean,
yeah, I've known and heard about a lot of horrible experiences with people as far as sponsors and go. That shit gets bad sometimes, man.
I couldn't agree more.
There's some fucked up sponsors out there that are not legitimate at all.
That's true, and at the end of the day, you know, it all just comes back down to, you know, how much research was done on that team before you sign with them. I mean, in the world, but then again, to be absolutely fair, our world actually has it very good and lenient compared to the world of other games like first-person shooters, MOBAs, MMORPGs, whatever. It doesn't matter, because some of those guys, they can be on like a 1 tournament contract, or they could be on like a 1-year contract, depending on how good they are, depending on whether or not that was what that gamer genre was, what that team was founded upon. And you know, those teams move around like moving parts in those worlds, and yeah, that's something that I'm glad the FGC by and large doesn't have to put up with. I mean, you know, guys switch teams all the time in the FGC, don't get me wrong. I mean, heck, I'm on my 3rd team now in the last year, not by my own design, mind you, but at the same time, things happen. And the FGC, things do happen, but at the same time, it's a lot more stable in the FGC than it is in other genres of esports. And it just gets to the point to where everybody just needs to do their research on who they're signing with and make sure the deal is worth it before putting your name on the paper.
Exactly.
And you know, with that said, you know, screw guys like, you know, Gut Tough Gaming, you know,
they're horrible.
And all stuff like that. You know, after hearing, you know, all the things that happened with some really good buddies of mine in that world, but you know, it is what it is. And with that said,
man,
you know,
my boy Emperor 9 Quad's in here though. Shout out to Emperor 9 Quad.
Shout out to Emperor 9 Quad,
and he's I believe, and Destroyer himself believes that he's the best Captain Cold in the world.
Oh, really? Well, I gotta see that sometime. Yeah. If he's still rocking Captain Cold, not having gone to Scrub 0, I'm more than willing to give him games on that. Just alone. Especially now that I know my options against Captain Cold. Yeah, now that I know those options. Huh?
We should do a COD.
Yeah, we'll probably do something like that here in a little bit, but at the end of the day, yeah, let's see what we can do as far as this no chill section is concerned before we get right into the closing stages of the program.
You're still
you know, if Tweety wants to, you know, all these people saying, you know, Tweety, you know, is just tweeting to unblock him and all this other stuff. My answer is no. My answer is no, because guess what? This man made his bed when he decided that he thought he could go on moron mode and just go completely absurd, you know, taking stuff out of context when it came to a lot of the tournaments that got entered into SRK, into the rankings and whatnot. You know, it's just like, dude, you know, these folks were told what status these tournaments were. They were told well ahead of time. So, dude, nobody appointed you to be the tournament report police. So, therefore, you have absolutely no business telling people what they can and can't report in tournament. I mean, all these people know at SRK, you know, what those tournaments were. It's just that it takes forever to get them updated. And quite frankly, why should the East Coast and West Coast have all of their tournaments locals, regionals, and whatever be reported, you know, for a player's rank, and then the South be negated. Why? Especially when we've got reputable players down here. So you want to know something?
Wow.
Nobody needs you to be the police of that. Nobody needs you to think that for some reason or another you can put yourself on a pedestal to call folks out when you know damn well they know what status the tournaments are at, and that SRK doesn't update them themselves, you know, immediately when all these updates happen. So, hey, you know, dude, you've, you know, we definitely hung out in the past and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you know, you just going moron mode on social media, aside from anything SRK related, aside from that shit, it just becomes too much of a beating, you know, just looking at, you know, just the depths of stupidity you can go into on social media. So, you know, when you grow up a little bit, I will, when you grow up a little bit, I will let you follow me. I'll see what's going on, but until then, enjoy time out. That's my call out for right now. Yeah, he doesn't like it, he can hold that shit.
You know what, man? That's a good topic that you brought up. Social media warriors in the FGC is honestly a problem.
Oh, you'd be amazed at how many people are social media warriors, and then you meet them, and then you see them in person, and it's just like, well, all of a sudden, well, gee, you're not quite as flamboyant and bombastic as you are on Twitter or on Facebook. What changed?
You ain't telling nobody, you ain't talking about shit no more. Like, man, Trey Pound, he's a bitch. Like, he's the definition of an online warrior. Like,
rip, dude.
Man is a faggot. Like, all because he thought someone was gonna steal some chick that didn't even want it.
Real, dude. You calling out Trey Pound? Now that's one I did not see coming.
Oh yeah, that nigga's a bitch.
Bruh.
Like,
and then, and then, you know, it's just like, you know, dude, it's, you know, all kinds of stuff like that happens where, you know, and then you got guys that just think that they're all that, and think that they are just, you know, the next big thing in the FGC. I mean, you know, I've gamed with guys like that over here in Houston. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, you know, outside of a couple of people here in the Houston community, I just pretty much stick to just training with all of the guys I know in the tournament community online. And quite frankly, you know, those guys, a lot of the guys over here in Houston, you know, it just gets to a point to where the community itself is just not even worth staying for. I mean, I remember making time. I remember actually making the move down here when I graduated from college and actually got my project engineering career started several years ago. I remember coming back to Houston with the premise that, all right, you know, I want to train with my hometown scene. I want to help this scene get better. I want them to help me get better, and I want us to see us wreck shop at tournaments together. And, you know, just seeing just the levels of ego that exists within that team, within, you know, a lot of the Houston community, you know, and then just a lot of the dysfunction that exists within a lot of the Houston team. It's just absolutely,
and it's like, for what?
It's toxic. It's just toxic. And it just give you an idea, I mean, you know, of how toxic things can get. I mean, a lot of folks, I don't know if you're aware of them, but you know Showtime over here in the Houston community. Yeah, that man, he's a whole nother dude when he loses a game. I mean, this man is people don't call him Salt Time and Savage Time for nothing. I mean, this dude at KIT last year, huh?
The bald white dude, right? The bald white dude, right? Frank?
Yes.
Played Kano and MKX?
Yeah, I mean, this dude.
Oh, I witnessed it.
Let me tell you a story. Back at MLG at Anaheim several years ago, this was back there in the MK9 era, and as I give shout outs to my boy Royale.
Oh man, yo, StarCharged, you that man? StarCharged?
Yeah, hold on just a sec. Alright, okay. So I'm just saying that, yeah, back in MK9 during MLG Anaheim, this was during the era that started the whole scenario where anytime all of us Houston players went somewhere together to compete, or even Texas players in general, we would just get fisted by the TOs in ways that you cannot imagine when it came to the making of the brackets. Okay, we would always get pitted against each other every single time, whether it was pools or whether it was getting out of pools. We'd all have to eliminate each other. We'd have to travel all this way just to play against each other. This is why you see all of us going aggro at majors whenever we see another player from Texas in our pool or another Texan in our bracket path before like top 32 or top 16 or something, because this happened every single time, whether it was Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, it did not matter. We were always going up against each other in the early going. But
that sucks.
It was me versus Showtime in the first round at MLG Anaheim. We pleaded with these guys to change the brackets because it didn't matter who advanced. You'd have to fight up against Cat, who was also from Houston. You know, it was just like all of Combat Houston playing each other. Well, I remember when Showtime actually did get the chance to play up against Cat in the losers bracket. After coming so close to eliminating Rio. I mean, if you don't know about Showtime's Reptile back in MK9, or his Sonya in MK9, do some research. I mean, he brought out how stupid those characters were. He brought it out. And this man lost to Cat, who made Cabal at the time, and
Cabal?
And it was just like, dude, when he loses, he turns into a whole nother animal. This man he threw his controller up onto the table, and then, you know, upon Cat learning, he threw his blue controller right up on the table, and, you know, just looked over to Cat, and just told him once he found out his next opponent was Kerbalicious at the time, I hope you get bodied. He just looked at him and just told him, I hope you get bodied. I mean, these are the guys that we train with. Damn. All of us, you know, Showtime, Cat, me, Scar, Shanks, and Devil Jim, we are the founding members of Combat Houston. We were the founding members of Combat Houston, and we train with each other. We're buddies. We traveled all the time. We went everywhere together. And this dude turns into a whole nother animal, telling the guys that we train with, that we're buddies with, I hope you get bodied. And then after he loses to Kerbalicious, Cat did lose to Kerbalicious, by the way. Frank then just stands up and screams, what the hell did you beat me for? You know, it's just like, instead of encouraging the dude to do well, it's just like, dude, he was waiting for him to get beat. I'm just like, dude, that's not what we traveled together for.
Damn.
And then, you know, it goes over to shit. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Right, there's so many stories there. And then, of course, there was the incident that happened at KIT after Illusions defeated him. But at the end of the day, man, it's just like toxicity like that is just one of the reasons why, you know, it's just like, dude, you got to be careful on who you spar with, who you play with, and just in general, who you just think is there to help you grow as a player, and who is there out for themselves.
Right.
I mean, that's just one of those kinds of, that was just an object lesson. But then again, you know, I love a lot of my boys in the Houston scene, Royale, Cat. I mean, you know, it became very toxic, of course, you know, with the way that a way that a lot of those guys saw a lot of other guys from within Houston succeeding, whether it was in NRS games or other games. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just like, dude, you know, you just gotta be careful of the company you keep some of the time.
That's insane. So is that why the KH scene disbanded?
Among other things, I mean, it's just like the KH scene. It seems like a lot of them, you know, really distancing themselves away from NRS games in general. I mean, you still got guys that do play. I mean, you still got guys that aren't able to travel as much but do play and are pretty good, like Andy, Handy Savage, Maddox.
Oh, whoa, Handy
and,
Savage.
Yeah, Handy
Whoa.
Savage. He's from Houston, and he's a part of it.
Yeah.
And Black.
Oh, I love Handy Savage.
Yeah, and then there's Black, aka Frozen Acid, aka the man of many names.
Frozen Acid.
And then you know, of course, you know, and then of course there's Royale, and you know, there's a lot of guys that play a lot of different stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just like it just doesn't seem like a lot of them are really as invested in the traveling and competing in these games anymore. And it's seeing what Combat Houston was when we first got started, and man, it's really a shame to see that. But then again, I guess, you know, some things like that are bound to happen sooner or later. But yeah, I miss the way things were. I miss the way things were. I miss the way you know, that group was tight knit. I really miss a lot of that, man. It's just like, you know, it's just not the same anymore. And
it's
so
crazy because I know Atlanta Combat broke up too. Remember Atlanta Combat?
Oh yeah, of course.
And that group disbanded and broke apart.
So many groups from the old days, man, are just no more. Like VSM, Valley Stream Monsters in New York, Galloping Ghost Arcade up there in Chicago, the EGP guys over there in SoCal, and the Atlanta Combat over where you guys are. It's just like none of it's the same anymore, man. Those regional rivalries used to be huge, but none of that exists anymore.
Man, ridiculous.
Hey, how's it going? EMP
Super
Sadira's Panties. By the way, I still love that name. And yeah, Houston has a history when it comes to 3D fighters. I mean, you know, out of all major cities, you know, within America, Houston's produced the most players that have actually gotten top 8 and won Evo. Houston has 3 Evo World Championships in Tekken. You know, two with Crow, 1 with Core. People forget about that. And so yeah, Houston's got a very storied scene, not even just with the 3D fighters or with the NRS community, because you know, you've got me and Scar doing our thing with the NRS community, but then you've got
Scar, Ominous Peanut.
No, we're just keeping it in terms of Houston. I mean, we've got Guilty Gear. I mean, we have a storied Guilty Gear scene. I mean, that's just done all kinds of stuff. And I see one of those players, of course, one of my old buddies, Silent Assassin, in the chat. He pays homage to that, man. His Bedman being one of the best in the world. I mean, we've got some of the best KOF and best Marble players in the world with Terry Bogard, among others. And in fact, most of Team Mexico and KOF actually lives in Houston. Layak, One Wolf, Stray Wolf, all those guys, they all pretty much train right here in Houston.
That's so sick.
You know, Houston's got one hell of a scene, and a lot of these scenes, you know, it's just like the regional beef is just not there anymore, man. And that's another thing that I've had to really come to grips with when it comes to the way the FGC has evolved more towards esports. It seems like now all that beef is now between teams, sponsored teams, rather than it is between regions.
Holy shit, I just found a bug with Dr. Fate.
Really?
Oh
now?
My god, that's broken. What the?
Really now?
Dude, he gets... Whoa, hold up, let me... I gotta laugh that again. He can get first hit off of a healing onk. If he puts in healing onk, that heals him. Not a red onk, not a red healing onk.
The gold one?
Healing onk. Yes. I walked into it and got first hit. What?
Wow.
What the fuck? Oh, hell no. Okay, we gotta
garbage
get,
there. You want to know something? You and I are actually going to do an online practice. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. It wouldn't be a good indicator. Yeah, because it wouldn't indicate any first meter bonus if we're doing a practice. But as far as yeah, garbage day, I see your question. I couldn't tell you right now. I mean, in the past, I didn't think so. I thought the Street Fighter, the Marvel, and the Guilty Gear communities were actually pretty rock solid, as well as the only one that's kind of dysfunctional right now in Houston, I would say, is the Tekken community. The Tekken community is just like, it's pretty fractured because a lot of the older guys like Crow, Core, Neo X, I think Roro is in Dallas now, but it's just like they don't gather up for anywhere near as many tournaments anymore, and it's just like they don't they don't gather around and practice as much anymore, which is a shame because guys like me really like Tekken and we really want to get good in Tekken, but it's just like we don't have the scene anymore because a lot of those guys got old, got married, and had other lives to live, and so the older guys aren't there to teach us, like, and bring us up so that we can carry the torch, so to speak. And in most ways, once you get more in tune with the Tekken community, they kind of want to keep it that way because they don't exactly like it when newer guys actually come in and start doing work in their games. They don't exactly take a liking to that, or at least that's what I found when it comes to the Houston community. What's up, Dab Jr.?
We got Trey Pound in the stream trying to make some. Do I plant? Permission to plant?
Oh, wait a minute. You say you got Trey Pound in the stream or something?
I am catching the stream. Ooh. Boy.
Alright, so those boys are showing up at U of H to actually play the game, Silent. Silent, who all, as far as the OGs of Houston Tekken, actually show up to U of H to play the game and actually teach folks? Do they actually teach folks? Because back during the Tekken 6 and the Tekken Tag 2 days, those boys didn't want to teach nobody for beans. I mean, Core, Core, I'll cut him some slack. He did want to teach, but it was just he couldn't make time. He just could not make time. But it just seems like, Tekken is very stingy when it comes to the knowledge of their game and actually passing it down to those that want to learn it. Especially if those that want to learn it are the young guns like me and several others. Here we are at 42 viewers on the stream. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us tonight as we're capping off the first ever StarCharged StreamCast. Unfortunately, Echo wasn't able to make it on tonight. I guess things just really your personal issues. There were just too much for him to co-host with me and Dab Jr. tonight. But at the same time, man, I just definitely want to take the time to thank Dab Jr. for coming on and co-hosting this with me. Tonight has seen a lot of really cool stuff in terms of the interviews we had with Semiij, the interview we had with Rewind, and then of course the best interview of the night in my opinion coming from Dragon, where we were really able to get in depth and break down a lot of the game and break down a lot of what makes him tick, and also to poke at a little bit at the fact that we all have the image of Dragon as an insurance company IT guru in our heads, but at the end of the day, man, this was a very fun stream night. Also being able to talk FGC events with Dab Jr. and upcoming events. I can't wait
for the more to come.
Yeah, and upcoming events like Summer Jam and ECT and of course Absolute Battle. Those are looking like the next big tournaments for me personally as we get ready to get into the nitty-gritty of who's going to wind up being the qualifiers for the Pro Series. I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make that happen and try and be one of those qualifiers, but it's still tough sledding ahead, man. It's going to be really tough actually making all this happen considering how many people have yet to compete in this and still have time to do so. And how tight it is right now getting that last the those qualifying spots locked up, man. It's really gonna be a photo finish to the end. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, thank you all for joining us tonight. We will be back, I believe. We're gonna see what we can do next week. Next week, I believe I might be on the road next week, but then again, I think I'll still have enough time for us to meet up same time, same place. And you know, I'll let you guys know on my Twitter at StarCharger28 of who's gonna be the next guest on the StarCharged podcast, man, or the StreamCast. But you know, definitely want to thank everybody for joining. This has been fun. We plan on having a lot more content and a lot more things to go into this as we develop and get really pick up some steam with this over the course of its run. And also feel free to look at Twitter as well when I post updates during the middle of the stream to give people the high points of just how everything's progressing. But you know, this has been real, man. And Dab Jr., do you have anything you want to add to this closing address, bud?
Yeah, dude, I actually do. Shoutouts to Ominous, shoutouts to Handy Savage, shoutouts to Shinobi Gaming, shoutouts to Emperor Ninequads, Blind Dougie's a bitch. Yeah, and shoutouts to StarCharged for having this, man. I can't wait to be here next week. We're gonna do it every week, right?
Yes, sir. And I'll let you guys know when we're not able to be doing so, because there will be times where the cast is actually going to fall during a travel day, whether it's for my job or whether it's for me going to a tournament, going to a premiere. One way or another, I will let everybody know when the cast will be rebroadcast or broadcast next, so that everybody can have the opportunity to actually watch the broadcast unfold. But for right now, you know, this is yeah, keep a look on Twitter. I'm gonna post it right here inside of the chat. You know, please follow, you know, my Twitter and Dab Jr.'s Twitter as well, so that you guys can remain up to date on all broadcasts of this stream. Hold on just a sec.
Only gets better from here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I can't post links in the chat.
All right, hold on. Let me help you out real quick. Let me actually help you out.
But yeah, guys, shout out to the bucket hat boss man himself, StarCharger, for having us, man. It only gets better from here on out, guys.
Hey, man. For my boy Dab Jr., thank you all for joining us on the first episode of the StarCharged podcast. Hopefully next time folks will actually get into the King of the Hill so that we could actually have some good matches going on in the background, so that all you're not doing is just seeing the online menu going for the better part of 3 hours. But at the end of the day, yeah, we'll fix that for the next broadcast. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's been a very fun streamcast, and you know, shout outs to everybody in the chat. You guys rock. Thank you so much, and we'll be back next week at same time, same place. Thank you for watching. Have a very nice night. And for Dab Jr., this is your boy Broken Alliance Gaming StarCharger signing off. Take care, everybody.